Doctor? Doctor, come quickly!
I can't. We're not on. No, where are we? We're not on fucking stream. What the fuck? I can hear everyone. What? No, they can hear us. Hi.
Doctor?
Our icons are not on the screen.
Doctor, come quickly!
Oh, and I'm hearing the fucking stream. Shit. This is all going so wrong. Okay,
What have you done?
No, we're just not coming up on the stream. For some reason. Why is the icons not coming up? That's silly. Anyway, we're live, everyone. Hi. I'm gonna try and get us on screen. Don't worry.
Someone having OBS issues? Who could that possibly be?
It suddenly just started not coming. We were on screen like literally a second ago, and suddenly it's not there. I literally checked before I did the thing. What the fuck, OBS? Why have you suddenly not worked? Anyway, we are here. Can everyone hear us nice and clearly? Okay. Seemingly, yes.
Welcome to day 12 of the Genesis of Androzani Advent Calendar. We are doing an EDAR live stream, and Kello is hosting it because I am currently exporting day 13 from Adobe Premiere as we speak. It's still got 2 hours left. Yep. This is the consequence for procrastination.
I will eventually get us on the fucking screen, but it doesn't want to work right now.
Well, I don't know what you did, but it's definitely
No, I haven't changed anything. I haven't changed anything. And that's gone off. God damn it. This is going so lovely. So lovely indeed. Hi, yes, but hi everybody.
Nice.
How everyone?
It would be so nice.
No, I don't fucking want. Oh God, why is everybody just not working?
And in the morning, hot tea.
Everyone decided, hey, we're gonna absolutely bollocks up your stream because
Pass the
yeah.
butter, please. And no one knows what I did today. There can be no other way. And I would just like to say, it would be so nice if you were able to get the stream running properly.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're live. We're here. So that's something, but you know, if for some reason Discord just doesn't want to work. Well, it doesn't want to come on stream in any capacity. I don't know how to do it. I really don't.
What do you mean you don't know? How's that?
Oh no, I do, but if for some reason it's gone off, and I don't know why. I just don't.
Have you created a new media source?
Nope.
Oh, well, that's what you need to do.
No. I don't know. I don't know why I still doing this. God damn it, Discord, you son of a bitch.
Just do what I say to do, and then you'll be fine. Callum is currently in that dad mood of when he needs to figure out where he needs to go, but he refuses to ask for directions.
Yeah. But anyway, you can introduce the stream still because we are live.
Oh, I thought you were the host of this stream.
Yeah, but
actually,
impromptu host. Like it's been a bit out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, as you all may be able to see from the thumbnail, we are covering for the first time a video by the Who Addicts. They're one of the OGs of this community. They started doing videos in Doctor Who about 9.5 years ago. Coming up on 10 years next year.
And
So,
what's the
yeah.
video? What's the video about, Connor?
It is James Wilson talking about why David Tennant being the 14th Doctor is a bad idea.
Ooh, that's pretty controversial.
This is coming from someone who's a big fan of David Tennant as well.
Hmm. That is
So, yeah.
actually, yeah. That is quite interesting.
Yes. And I will we'll start to cover it when Callum sorts his shit out.
All right, I've done an impromptu fucking. I've literally just doing capture display on my second monitor, and that's it. We are now on stream. That's just what we're gonna have to do.
That's so weird.
I know, but that's just what we're gonna have to do, and hopefully everything runs smoothly.
Well, it looks okay now.
Yeah, well, we are here now on stream. Hi everyone, we've officially started. I do have no clue why OBS did that, but hey ho, I guess they just want to fuck us over. Yes, we are. Yes, we are doing the thing. We are indeed doing. Yes, the video you just said, why David Tennant being the 14th Doctor is a bad idea, which is a very interesting topic, I have to say the least.
We are indeed EDAR we end.
Indeed.
I was up until 1 a.m. Editing day 13. And that was...
Oh my word.
8.5 hours ago from now.
Oh, bloody hell.
Mm-hmm.
Bloody hell. That is a... This is quite the quite the job you have to do there.
Yes, and I had to do it again and again and again and again and again until the end of the advent calendar. Yep.
Ah, lovely.
I have to do it for day 14, day 15, day 16, day 17, day 18, day 20, day 22, day 23, day 24, and day 25. I've still got all of that left to do.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
No, and I still haven't filmed 2 of them. I still haven't filmed 23 and 24 yet.
Well, I'm sure you'll get there in time. I'm sure you will.
It's certainly possible, yeah.
Also, how are the audio levels, guys? Are we like balanced properly? Am I too loud? Is he too quiet? Please let me know.
You know the annoying part is that I wouldn't have this exporting issue if for some reason my Premiere and my computer was able to export every video with.
Well, when you export, do you do export with the preview? Like, do you do renders before when you're editing?
So the problem with that is I can't do that because the previews are a different file format to the ones I want to export with. But that's not the point I was trying to make. That's not the point I'm trying to make. Is that my exports would be 10 times faster if I was using GPU acceleration. However, when it comes to the complicated videos, I can't use GPU acceleration because it's just error compiling movie every time. The only time I can use GPU acceleration is when it's a simple thing, like a full-length reaction where it's just got a few layers. But if it's got lots of effects on it, I just can't use it because it just fucks up the export and I have to keep going and trying again. So with the proper meaty edits, GPU acceleration is not an option.
Sure.
Yep.
No good. No good, that is.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So instead of instead of exporting in like, I don't know, an hour and a half, I have to export over like 10 hours. That's the difference.
Well, because the Arcane videos that are now been released, and you should all go watch them because I put a lot of work into those. In terms of total render time, I guess in terms of final export, they all took about 2 hours.
Yeah, because that's because you've got GPU acceleration on.
Most likely. I also have to pretty much like render preview it all because if I don't, it will crash. Unfortunately. So pretty much I have to like render it in parts, preview it in parts, and then export it so it just all goes smoothly, so it doesn't crash. So in total, it's probably like 8 hours per, including those renders. It's quite annoying because my computer is only like 8 gigs of RAM, so it's not the most powerful PC in the world. So hopefully over Christmas,
why you'd need to render previews then.
Yeah, hopefully though over Christmas I'll upgrade to 16. Just a bit of extra power, and then probably in a few years down the line I'll probably just get a new PC that's a bit more powerful for editing. That's the dream. That's the dream, at least. Which would be nice. Because my computer's fine, but it's a bit slow now. I've had this computer for about 3 years now. So 3 years actually, yeah, over 3 years now. So it's probably drew a little bit of a boost. I don't know much about computer upgrades at all, so I might be talking my arse, but I'm just hoping it helps a little bit. Yeah, but I guess we should probably officially get on with this this EDAR, because this is still an EDAR, no matter how botched this intro has been. I mean, I haven't actually dropped any frames, which is nice. That's quite nice.
We did start, 12 minutes ago.
True. Well, 40... Yeah, actually, 12 minutes ago. It says 40 for me, because that's when we started the stream. It took us 2 minutes to go live. How wonderful. How wonderful indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we should get started. So I guess we can pose the question first. Connor, do you think David Tennant being the 14th Doctor is a bad idea? Do you think it is inherently a bad idea for our Russell T Davies to do?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
But here's the thing.
Why he's doing it.
There's a difference between an idea and actual execution. It's all, most ideas really can be executed pretty well. So it's more, I would always say it's more about the execution rather than the inherent idea. There's a lot of ideas that are really cool that aren't executed really well.
I don't see how it's guaranteed to be a bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've gone on record many times as saying I think the idea of the Doctor regenerating into a previous incarnation is a pretty interesting idea to explore, maybe, for a while, in a couple of stories, and that's kind of what we're getting next year. I think. Mm-hmm. What are you going to say?
Only for 3 episodes. It's not more than that.
Yeah. It's an idea that I don't think it would get as much backlash as it has been getting, especially on Twitter. If it wasn't David Tennant, I think it was another Doctor. If it was like a Capaldi, or if it was a Smith, or even an Eccleston, I don't think it would get this much backlash. While it's been very positive, but there's been a lot of backlash.
What would have been really interesting is if it was Colin Baker. That would have been very fun to see the reaction to.
Yeah, because I think obviously with the narrative, because it's Russell with David Tennant coming back, it's going to paint a picture in a lot of people's minds like, oh, we're just going to rehash the same things again to get people back on side to the show. That's already the sort of slight narrative in some areas.
I mean, it is going to get people back watching the show, but
Absolutely. Absolutely. The show is going to be, you know, it's going to be pretty big next year, and probably following years based on that. Especially with the Disney broadcast deal, you know, on being on Disney Plus going forward, which will garner a big audience. That's another thing too. So there's in terms of recognition and publicity, it's going to get a lot now than more than it's gotten since probably Russell left, or maybe at least Series 6, because it was still pretty big back then. So I imagine,
it's pretty big.
yeah, a lot of people are going to tune in next year. That's for sure.
It had a spike at the 50th anniversary.
It did. It did, obviously, with it being the 50th, and obviously next year being the 60th. That's actually really cool to think. We are now less than a year away from it, you know. And ideally, probably the first special is going to be like at the start of November. Really, I don't imagine it's going to start on the 23rd. I'd imagine the last special with Tennant would culminate on the 23rd, I'd imagine. So yeah, it's a year away, which is crazy. It's crazy to think a year from now is when Russell is truly back writing Doctor Who, and that really excites me. That really does. A lot of people saying it's just fan service because it's bringing back one of the old favourites who had plenty of time in his own era. I mean, I feel like people, especially in the Doctor Who fandom, are losing the idea of what the actual definition of fan service is. I feel like, and to be fair, that's something a lot in, I think, modern fandoms, is people are losing the idea of what the fuck fan service actually means. Because sometimes fan service, that things people deem as fan service, it can just be like culminations of arcs or characters or developments, you know? Of like, oh, well, you just said that line was just said just for fan service. That happens quite often nowadays with a lot of things, which is quite annoying.
What they're also doing by seeing this read about David Tennant and all that, and Russell T Davies, is that they're equating it with the kind of bringing back elements that has been done elsewhere, and they are not allowing the idea that having elements that resurrect an audience and also telling a good story at the same time can coincide. They're not accounting for that, because all they've seen recently is either one or the other. You know, it's either a story or it's something that brings back elements and it's got a bad story. But the idea that there is both elements that bring back an audience and a good story is something that doesn't happen a lot, and so they're not thinking of that as a possibility because they haven't seen it. But it is possible, by the way. It can happen. You can have a good story that also brings back an audience with prior elements.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No doubt about that in my mind. Yeah, and also with Prime saying I think it's gonna be Easter, 60th, and Christmas. It's already been announced that all three specials with Tennant are going to be in November. So yeah, as Sam has said,
11 months.
Yeah, 11 months until Russell is fully back, and then we're getting a Christmas special too. That's actually something else we should probably talk about with the Christmas specials coming back. I'm all for that, especially under Russell, because under Moffat they really sort of lost that sort of idea of a Christmas special that Russell normally did. You know, like I really do miss that feeling of like watching a special like The Next Doctor or The Christmas Invasion. You know what I mean? It's like with that sort of like, it does feel really Christmassy, but it's not about Christmas. It's set during Christmas.
Well, the difference is that Russell writes them in the way that it coincides with people's feelings. At least not mine, but a lot of people on Christmas Day who they're full of food and full of alcohol, and they're just hazed and watching it. That's the kind of vibe that Russells have, whereas Stephen Moffat's Christmas specials, they really lean into the the sort of traditional storytelling of the Christmas spirit that is presented to children at Christmas time. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
And so what you get with Russell is you get a bit of a tongue-in-cheek rendition of Christmas that is poking fun at it, as opposed to Moffat, who is very with open arms, is welcoming the whole thing, unironically.
Did you see Mr. TARDIS's tier ranking of all the festive specials? He was surprisingly positive about a few of Capaldi's specials. That doesn't really surprise me. Capaldi is I feel like a lot of people are going to be soft on the Capaldi era, I think, now, after the Chibnall era, I'm not going to lie. I was actually kind of thinking about that today. I feel like there's going to be, especially, Twitter normally is, but I feel like there's going to be, as time passes, a lot of softness on the Capaldi era overall, even though the Capaldi era is pretty trash.
One of the reasons why it's surprising is because Mr. TARDIS has been famously very negative towards that era in the past. No, and has been positive on Chibnall. So.
Oh yeah, I always forget that he has been positive on Chibnall.
He's especially positive on Series 11, for sure. That's the one that
it's like that that stream we watched like years ago when we covered like the topic of the Sacha Dhawan Master. Like, if you remember the part where Jay said like she agrees that with Mr. TARDIS that Series 11 was better than Series 12, but probably like for very different reasonings. I always forget that Mr. TARDIS is a big fan of like the early seasons compared to now. Though he will still fucking defend the show for bullshit reasons. Like, but did you see that did you see the tweet he did not long ago about that comic strip that came out in the Doctor Who magazine?
Oh dear.
You know, referencing the plot armor discussion. You know, he still can't let it go, I guess. I don't know. Like you'd expect like that came out and we sort of talked about it briefly, and I don't really like it. Though I think Jeb said in the Discord, which I think is interesting to think about, it's a still image, you know. I can still give more faith to that than, you know, something like War of the Sontarans, you know. I can give that a little bit more of a good faith because it's not in motion, but you'll still, I just find that all pretty funny. Like, you'd think that we would be like, with how we were described during all that discourse, that we would be like, see, it's still fucking plot armor, grr. When really it's just like we'll just kind of talk about it and move on. We won't really make it that big of a deal because it's a comic strip, you know.
I mean, I don't give much thought to it.
No, not really. It's just funny to think about.
But yes, Matt Rowney from the Who Addicts, who's not the one in this video, said that he thinks that all three of Chibnall's festive specials are great. That being Resolution, Revolution, and Eve. He said they're all great stories. So there you go. That's their take on it.
Resolution doesn't even feel like a New Year special in my... Oh, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. It just... Well, none of the Chibnall specials... I mean,
Revolution especially.
Yeah.
Revolution especially.
Even the Daleks is probably the closest, I guess. Well, even then, though. You know, I just keep reminding myself how shit that episode was. Eve was so bad because the other day during the Advent Calendar, the reactions to the Chibnall 2022 specials came out, and I was just reminding myself when I watched your reaction of like how fucking terrible those episodes were. Even how bad those two episodes were just insane. It's insanely bad. Like the dialogue between the two characters, like the woman and the man, is insanely terrible. It's so fucking cringe.
Yeah, to
These
the
is
point
not
where I
real
said that if
people
there's-
talking.
if there's- yeah, to the point where I said, if there's people like this in real life, I don't want to meet you.
No, I don't. They're very weird, and they're just sort of really awkward and stilted and almost alien, which is weird considering the show is Doctor Who, very alien. But it's like, this is not how people talk. This is really strange and very awkward. God, that was so fucking terrible. Even the Daleks are so bad.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Is that Mr. TARDIS seems to be more fixated on plot armor than we are.
We'll just we point out plot armor a lot in terms of like the amount of media we consume that is quite modern, because plot armor happens quite often in, you know, like Star Wars, like Mandalorian. There's a lot of it. So yeah, we'll talk about it, but it's not the only thing. It's not the only thing we talk about. We also talk about the character assassinations and shit.
Don't know why he's so offended by this.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. Well, but the original thing was because, if I'm remembering it correctly, it was more to do with the fact that it was seemingly the only criticism people had of the Chibnall era, and no one mentioned it during like other eras, or didn't think it was in other eras, if I'm remembering it correctly. Even though we talked about it, you know, Asylum has it. I think the Moffat era has quite a bit of plot armor in parts. It even led us to watching the Series 4 two-parter with the Sontarans, and how that has like the most little plot armor really, considering the context, which is quite surprising. It actually had the Sontarans being pretty competent and good aim, and there being situations where the characters surviving, there is absolutely leeway with that. Like the Doctor first arriving on the Sontaran ship, none of them have guns on them, because why would they when they're in the main control room? It wouldn't really make sense. They're not expecting it at all, so that makes sense. It's not like convenient they don't have it, you know?
I said to Sam Montgomery, good luck with Chibnall Who. It's the fucking worst.
You should probably just watch it before... Watch it all in, like, October of next year. A month before the specials, and then you can just get that over and done with, and then you can move on to Russell era 2, you know? That's probably the best time to do it, not gonna lie. That's probably what I would do. Just binge it all in one big cringe fest. Yeah, agree with that comment. I love End of Time, but it has David Tennant skydiving, crashing into a 2-story high building and survive. Oh, yeah, exactly. And we'll absolutely criticize other episodes from years gone by with the same issues. We've said that for years.
For some reason, people, you know, people for some reason don't mention that we do that. They just sort of focus.
I even had a video. I even posted a video on Twitter, I think, during that time. Like when in the Satan pit, where the Doctor says he can survive 30 feet? Is it what he says? I think so. Yeah. That's more than 30 feet. It's skydiving, you know.
I've heard people say that like, oh, the glass broke his fall. I'm like, okay.
No. Yeah, cool. And it would have killed him. It would have killed him on impact.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that glass would have, you know, gone through his suit into his fucking flesh, because it's that sharp.
It wouldn't have broken his fall enough to not make him, like, you know, splat his entire body all over the floor, because that's not how momentum works. That's not how falling from like 1,000 feet in the air works. Like, he would die on impact. On impact. Doesn't matter if it's glass. That's just stupid. That's stupid. Yeah, but I guess we should start the video then. Since we've rambled on enough.
And we're on David Tennant as the topic, so let's do it.
Yes, all right.
Hey there, guys. James Wilson once again.
Oh shit, I can't hear it.
Now, today's solo video is...
Oh, have you muted it then?
Yeah, I have. Because we're playing a stupid ad.
Oh, yeah. We did. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right.
Hey there guys, James Wilson here, and welcome once again to the Who Addicts.
Oh,
Now,
I'm not a fan of the audio.
It's not going to get me a great deal of friends. I can imagine the title alone
It's
has
camaraderie,
already gotten
Yeah.
people typing away aggressively at the keyboard. But please do bear with me, and if you guys can understand my point, then fair enough. If after that you still don't agree with me, that's fine. I just need you to understand where I'm coming from with this. So
I will say I don't care. Like it's like it's always in these sort of videos the preamble. You don't really need to do it. You can just get to the point. It's fine. If there's backlash, there's backlash. You know. You don't. If this all happen, yeah.
These guys get a lot of backlash, like a lot of
Sure.
nasty backlash.
Sure, but that's
And
my
have
thing with a lot of media
they're
videos like
weathered-
this.
They are weathered veterans because they've been getting it for 9 years and it hasn't stopped and it's gotten worse.
Audio is low, but it's probably original. I'll boost it just a bit to pretty much max then. Yeah, it's like I would rather you just get to the point, but that's just me. You know, I'm not a big fan of preambles on media on YouTube videos. I think I was guilty of it back in the day, and I look back at some of my videos. I'm like, I'd probably just get to the point. I think my Spider-Man No Way Home. No, what was it called? Far From Home. That's it. That's the name of the film. I think I preamble. Remember that video, even though that is like one of my most viewed videos. I look back on that video. I'm like, man, this could have been so much better. And the preamble was one of the things that I'm just like, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care, so I just go straight to what I want to talk about.
Exactly. Just, you know, there's always going to be people that disagree with what you say anyway. And I don't, we should be like, if you disagree with me, that's fine. You know, it's like no, you need to understand my point.
Receiving good comments is not something I care about either. I just make
we
all
know about the comments you're receiving, Connor. Oh,
yeah,
what?
Recently.
That's been going on for like a year, by the way. That has.
Yeah.
Like literally, because that whole plot armor discussion happened in October of last year, so that's over a year now. Which is actually crazy to think that Flux was a year ago. That's fucking crazy. If
any of you wanna know what we're talking about, go to our Eve of the Daleks EDAR and look at how many times over the past year Casual Craftman has commented on that video and replied to things.
On almost any video, almost any EDAR, and probably will comment on this EDAR in the coming weeks at some point. It's not gonna lie, it's a bit weird. It's a bit strange. Not gonna lie.
It's also weird because anytime there's something plot armor related on Twitter, he returns to that specific EDAR about Eve of the Daleks and reinforces their point. It's just like, oh well.
Like, what are you going to get out of it? I'm sorry to sound arrogant, but we were right. I'm sorry, but we were.
Like the one point that they always get back to is they say, if Stormtrooper aiming ruins a show, then it's been ruined from the start. It's like, okay, that's not what we said though.
Not what we said.
Are you telling us this? It's not what we said.
Yes, Mandalorian has bad aim. Yes, Return of the Jedi has shitty Ewoks, making the Stormtroopers look shitty. Yes, we think it's bad. All right, it's like what? It's the point that you don't think we're going to be consistent with it because we absolutely fucking will. Don't you worry about that.
Sit back and enjoy as I discuss a very, very not at all popular subject for people.
At the very least, the rambles are less than a minute, unlike
why
other people.
David Tennant being the 14th Doctor is a bad idea. Enjoy.
Yeah, because I think they have a...
Oh, they're very loud. That is very loud.
Yeah. They need to fix that. They had that problem on other videos as well.
Yeah. Tip for... I'm guilty of this because I had to talk with Connor about the Arcane videos. Balance your audio, you know? It's very important. Very important.
Oh yes, by the way, Callum, the Act 3 Arcane also has the same red screen thing, so at some point I'm going to have to re-upload that too.
Oh, when does that happen?
I think someone commented approximately right before it happens. It's something like It's maybe an hour and a half in.
Okay, I'll quickly check that. Just talk for a bit.
Yes. So
yeah.
anyway, what I was going to say is that I think they have a template for their intro, so it's not going to be more than a minute because that's what they do with every video.
Yeah. Which arcane did you say? Act 3?
Act 3, yes, because I've already fixed the Act 2 one.
I'll just quickly check then. Yeah. So what? 2 hours 17? Is that what it was, or was it 1 hour or something?
I can't remember.
It's a comment from Helen Line, and there's a time code of 2 minutes 17:30, and there's nothing I can see.
2 hours 17:30. Yeah, so go there and then go like a few minutes forward, and you'll see bits of red.
I'm not. So I guess I have to wait for the. I'm not really seeing it.
Oh, well, I see it when I go on it.
No, I'm not. I'll see, but also, yeah, having like intro. I think I did this once for like my reactions, which were like, I don't know why I did that. I think I was just like, oh, this would be neat, but now I'm just thinking like having intros in YouTube videos, I guess, is like. I think a lot of big channels have them, but I'm just like, I guess I don't really see the point. Well, this is ideally this the one on screen is that took a bit of effort, so I guess fair play.
Go to 2 hours. Go to 2 hours 21. You'll see it.
Okay. 2 hours 21. I don't know why this happened because this did not happen on any of. This isn't a thing on any of my Ah, right. Yes, it has done that. It has done that. I don't know why. Did it on
Act 2 as well, but I managed to fix Act 2 before.
Literally on none of my actual renders, which is very strange.
No, it's something to do with when it went onto Google Drive and then I
must be that. Yeah, I imagine that's the case, which is a shame. But at least it's for that little bit and not the whole fucking thing. It's at least that. At least, and that was more in the like summary part. So you know, there's that. But yes.
Well, the thing is, also I'm racing against the clock to upload the rest of the calendar, so I'm probably going to do it after it's done.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
yes, in the last days of the year.
YouTube 5 to 20 seconds. Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, I probably agree with that. It shouldn't be super long. If it's like if it's reaching about a minute, I think that's too long. Honestly, because I'm here for the video. I'm here for the actual discussion, of the video and the topic.
Yes, mate. You make the content of your video long. That's fine. When you're actually talking about something substantive, then you can make it long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm sure the person who did this took a lot of efforts, but fair play. So,
MauLer, for example, has 3-hour videos, but he doesn't have anything in his intro. He just jumps right into.
No, his intros are in these critiques are more like, especially in future parts, like they're like corrections or like tackling a topic that was discussed in the comments of a previous video, though that kind of thing. That's fine for sort of intros because that's the topic of last or previous videos, or it's the introduction of what the series of videos are,
most of his videos just start with like a 2-second joke and he goes right into it.
Oh, with the raids and stuff, yeah. It starts out with just something really funny to get you in the mood of hey, so this topic we're discussing, it's gonna be a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright, we'll see this intro then. Yeah, it's very loud. I've got it mostly low. It's just really loud, so you need to balance that shit.
This is this is what Classic Who fans think Murray Gold does to the show.
Yeah. The cover's cool, but I would not want this to be the actual intro. Oh, well, happy birthday, Stuck, to you. Yeah, this is very long intro. Like, yeah, I think this is way too long. Oh, wait, hold on. That's, I know this stock thing. I think this is, from a... I can't remember what the channel's called, but it was during the 50th, they made, like, an intro of, like, what the 50th could be, and this is, like, one of the shots they used, but I don't know if it was reused or something. I don't know. I recognize it, but I remember that video saying you can't re-upload stuff unless they got permission. I don't know. That's just something I've noticed because I've recognized.
10 years.
It has been. It has been. I think it was like a joke in that on that channel comment section where he made like a bunch of intros, but they were all using the same like assets like this. I think. If people know what I'm talking about, you'll know. But yeah.
I uploaded a video around the 50th that got millions of views.
Yeah. Okay, this is really long. This is really long.
To the point where it was, my video got so many views to the point where someone in my classroom said, "Oh, I've seen that video."
Yeah, I assume they got permission. I assume so.
All right, 2 minutes in. Now we can start the video.
Let me just mention the elephant in the room, or the elephant wearing the really flamboyant Halloween shirt. Anyway, yes, it is a day away from Halloween night where I am currently. So
cool.
I thought I'd dress.
Yes, let's date the video.
And wear a really stupid shirt. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the end of time.
Oh wait, what? Why are we talking about the end of time? That's not where I thought we were going to go.
Because it was Tennant's story that he ended on.
I guess so. It was not a preamble, just going to say.
I don't want to go.
Remember that scene?
Going to pause just in case we get taken down. But yeah, we're going to talk about the end of time. What's your thoughts on that final line, Connor? Just before we continue.
It's very in character.
I think it's the best final line of New Who for a Doctor. I think it's a very, very important line for
but it's so selfish. It's so selfish and arrogant.
Yeah,
we can't be having that now, could we?
There's so much to sort of dissect with that line. So much mix. Have you seen that Doctor Who Confidential thing? About this scene in particular.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I love that Confidential quite a lot, and I love the discussion on that line. How they took 4 takes, and with each one they boosted up the emotion. I think 3, which was the one they actually used for the final cut. I think that's the perfect take for this kind of line and what it meant.
The interesting thing about that Confidential is that it actually showed us how much the input the actor had.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Because and it's actually was talking about the sort of characterization of the Doctor in that moment because the idea of Eurus Lynn wanted to like pull fully on the heartstrings. And that's sort of what he wanted to go for. But when they actually filmed it and then looked back on the footage, they just didn't think it was right, actually, when reflecting on it. And they actually showed 3 because it's a bit more brave, on the Doctor's part, even though it's about a line about how he couldn't really redeem himself and do better, and how it's about with his vanity. I think it's a very important line, and I think using that take was very important. I think it's the right amount of emotion from this Doctor incarnation.
It'd be interesting to see alternate takes of other scenes, actually. I've always wondered that.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's quite true. That's something we don't really get a lot of with behind the scenes stuff of like alternate takes.
Probably because you're not supposed to.
The final line for any Doctor is, "It's the end, but the moment's been prepared for." That is a pretty good final line, I will say.
That's a great
Very
line.
well delivered. Very well delivered. To be honest, I would have liked if 13th last line was actually, I bet you're going to be brilliant, like the script. No, I think the final line we had was good enough. I think I said, even though it's not released yet.
Going to be, I bet it's going to be brilliant is tying the shoelaces too tightly.
Mm-hmm. That's a bit too from the like, script, you know. I feel it wasn't. It's not natural. I think as
what we got.
Taggart.
What we got. So what's in the script feels like Chibnall. What we got feels more like Jodie Whittaker, and I prefer that.
Like I think I said I would like a line like tag or like Doctor Whoever I'm gonna be. Reveal yourself or something, but I think Taggart is fine.
Reveal yourself.
I
don't know about that.
I think I said this during our reaction, but maybe not. I think probably Taggart is fine.
In The End of Time, one of many where the Doctor is talking about how much he doesn't want to regenerate. He's almost getting teary-eyed with Wilfred Mott in a cafe saying, "I'm going to die. Everything I am dies. Some new man goes sauntering away, and I'm dead."
Some new man goes sauntering.
Okay, you don't. If you're gonna say the line, you might either you say the line or you show the clip. It's pointless, kind of, to show both. You know. We know the line you're talking about, you know? It's strange. For me.
Bring away. And I'm dead.
I'm gonna just pause just in case. Yeah, I think I think that's a great line. I think it's a really good scene. By the way, what happened to EDAR 22? This is EDAR. Is this EDAR? Oh wait, hold on, let me check.
This is 23.
Oh wait, is it still up? 22?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, it is still up. It's still there. It's if you go to live on the channel, on the live. I hate this though. They've added a live section because it just makes it harder to, I guess, find for some people. But it's there. If you go to live on the channel, it's there. I'm looking at it right now. Also, EDAR 20 is now on like 8K views, which is nice. 3.8. It's doing pretty well.
Because of Jay.
Yeah, true.
Bring
all those views, obviously from Jay, clearly. But yeah, but it's there. It's there.
And the story nearly breaks down, you know, saying, "I don't want to go," and, you know, is nearly breaking down into tears. It's a really emotional, harrowing story.
That means that the EDAR 20 is our second most viewed thing behind X-Men: The Last Stand.
Yeah. Fuck, that's refused. I like how that's the one review you kept up just because the meme, it is the most viewed one. So it kind of has to stay there.
It's so stupid. It's the most mediocre video ever.
Yeah. We couldn't give two shits about The Last Stand, really.
It's so weird because the X-Men 2 review, which is firstly a much better film and secondly a more interesting review, is one of the least viewed videos on the channel.
It just hit the algorithm different, you know? It just hit different.
I don't know what happened. I don't know how that video produced so many viewers.
Yeah. And yet, back on the topic. End of Time is it's a sublime character story, but the actual plot is absolute bonkers bullshit. There's no denying that.
I think that's why, Jenny, Dimensions and Jen said that End of Time is her favorite Russell T Davies story because A, they love the character stuff, and B, they love the fact that the plot makes no sense for some reason. They like that it's bonkers. Because they're like, that's so Russell T Davies. The plot's
that's not. That's rare for Russell. That's rare for Russell to have a pretty stupid plot. That's pretty rare for him. Most of his plots are sound.
Nah, but it's not. But it's not about the logic. It's about the spirit of the plot.
It's about the feelings I have. The feelings I have.
It's about the vibes.
It's about the vibes. It's all about the vibes. All about those vibes.
Yeah.
But yes, the character work in Overtime is brilliant, and the acting is brilliant. It should be praised more, really, and not cut down like on Twitter like it is, really. Very annoying. End of Time has got its flaws, absolutely, but End of Time is... You know what's so funny, though? How it's really annoying, though, that I feel like End of Time, in a lot of that, not everywhere, I think it gets rightly praised in parts for what it does well, but if you still think that End of Time, at this point, with the Moffat era and Chibnall era, like most of those eras, if you still think End of Time is one of the worst Doctor Who stories that's ever been written, you might need to reflect on that. Not gonna lie, just saying. If
Oh,
I
but
would,
the
I would.
master
The amount of
menacing the
times
Easter
I
burger,
wish
that's
we
bad.
had End of Time level of quality in the Chibnall era, I would honestly be happy, because at least the characters would be good, you know? At least the characters would be people I like and can sort of dissect and like talk about what they mean, you know?
But the master menacing eats the burger, that's bad.
And chicken, turkey.
Yeah.
Even then, you have the master being still like somewhat competent at the very least, unlike Sacha Dhawan.
Well, the master's motivations actually make sense when you break them down of cause and effect.
Oh,
When
yeah,
you say,
absolutely.
why does he want this and why does he do this? He does this because he wants this, and then he goes on to do this, and it's because
Is
he
it a
wants to
bit
do this,
silly?
and he wants
Sure,
this.
but at least he's not a fucking idiot. Because the master shouldn't be an idiot, because the master isn't stupid.
Well, his plan works, regardless of how silly you think it is. His plan works.
Mm.
He gets what he wants.
Unlike
And he
Dhawan,
doesn't
where we don't
try
know what the
and
fuck
outsmart
his
people.
plan is half of his stories.
I think people misunderstand it because they just look at the tone of it and they assume that it's stupid.
Sure, the tone can clash a lot in End of Time, I won't deny that. But, you know, there's still a lot of good shit in there.
If you had the exact same master plot that exists in the story with that character, but you just change the tone, people would have less of a problem with it. I think it's the tone that they don't like. It's not about the actual characterization.
Hmm.
And it really, really broke our hearts. For 12 years, it broke our freaking hearts. And now that story carries no emotional weight whatsoever.
Now, I hope he clarifies this, because that's a big statement to make. Because we have no idea what's going to happen. It's quite the statement to make without knowing what the actual story is going to be.
I am never going to feel the same way about that story ever again. I mean, the last time I watched it was right after Bernard Cribbins died. I think I did mention this when me and Matthew did the Q&A a while back. And yeah, the End of Time hit differently with Bernard Cribbins being dead. But now that David Tennant's back as our current Doctor again, and now the possibility has been opened that any former Doctor can just come back to the show whenever they feel like it, or if they just contacted the showrunner and was like, hey...
You're being very meta about this, when really this probably isn't going to happen again. Not going to lie. This film was a bit way too meta.
You're forgetting the fact that Russell T Davies consented to do this. It was his thing.
It was Russell... Not only was it Russell's idea, like, but there is literally going to be a new Doctor after this. Once the specials is over, Ncuti Gatwa is the next Doctor permanently.
And the main reason why he went along to do this idea, obviously the big pull is part of it, but one of the main reasons why is because of Ncuti Gatwa's schedule.
Yeah, shooting not only Sex Education but also the Barbie film that's coming out.
Yes. And now he's finally filming.
Yeah, they
Doctor
have now, as we speak, right now, they are filming the next season of Doctor Who, which is actually quite exciting.
Which is going to be out in like 2024,
early 2024, seemingly.
Well, unless of course the his first episode is the Christmas special.
Well, I imagine it is. I imagine it is going to be the Christmas special next year. Like next year, we're getting 4 episodes of Doctor Who, and then 8 the next year, plus the Christmas special. So really, we're getting 4 next year, and then 9 the next. And and also it's very important to clarify. The 14th Doctor is going to be quite. I imagine there's going to be quite differences between 14 and 10. But with the idea of it being the same face, and that's going to be the sort of idea behind the arc, I'm assuming, with Tennant coming back.
I mean, even in the one scene we've gotten, there are slight differences.
Like, we can't forget about, Patrick, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name for some reason. Patrick Harris? Is that his name?
No. Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris. There you go. Clearly, at least from what I'm gathering from all the trailers and stuff, he's going to play a big role. And I think everyone's under the impression clearly that he's the celestial toy maker. Like he's the toy maker.
Yeah, because there's leaks that confirm it.
Celestial toy maker. There we go. There.
I'm pretty sure Neil Patrick Harris has said that he's the toy maker.
I think it seemingly has hinted at it. I think. But here's the thing. I think I said this in a tweet a couple of months back. The idea of the 14th Doctor is going to be about a redemption for this incarnation's face. Sort of moving past it and moving on. And actually getting that chance to sort of redeem himself in a way. That's going to sort of be the idea, with obviously the idea of him being messed with by the toy maker, is assumingly what I think is going to be the story in all the specials next year. So to claim that automatically, just from the fact that Tennant has come back to do a special, or 3 specials next year, as the official next Doctor, before handing it over to Gatwa, and how End of Time now has no emotional weight at all now because of this, I don't think is a good take, not gonna lie, because it's very meta and not even allowing the story to be told. Like, you have no idea what's gonna happen. So that's a big claim to make, almost out of bad faith, not gonna lie.
And bad faith against a writer you respect and an actor you respect.
I don't think at all it's going to be a rehash. Because there's no doubt I have worries. Donna coming back is a worry. But I have faith that Russell will justify it relatively well.
I think Russell might kill Donna. And people are going to be sad.
Oh, you actually think that's what's going to happen? By the end,
it could happen. Yeah, it's
it could. It could. I'm not sure. I don't think that will happen.
Especially. I mean, if Stephen Moffat was still in his ear, it wouldn't. But
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be theme around second chance and actually moving on and going forward and pressing forward.
Half the reason why some characters don't die in his original run is because Stephen Moffat was in the writers' room.
And let's not forget that Ncuti Gatwa is actually going to be in these specials. Probably not in terms of screen time a lot, but he will be a factor in these specials.
Yeah.
So that's another important detail to
Russell said
remember.
about that bit we saw in the trailer with the clouds is not the actual scene.
Yeah, that's interesting. That came up recently. So I wonder what he's actually going to be in. Yes. No, I don't think that a lot of people had the theory that was going to be the same place as we saw in Power of the Doctor, even though it doesn't look the same at all. I always found that a weird theory, because it doesn't look the same at all. It just looks like clouds. I think it's going to be similar to that, but I don't think it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a sort of mind palace that the Ncuti Gatwa incarnation is trapped in.
No, it could just be a location somewhere that's been green screened.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's clearly green screen, obviously. So yeah, I think this sort of is kind of bad faithing, already saying, oh, there's going to be no emotional weight with End of Time now with this new context. It's like, okay, but we literally don't know what's going to happen at all. So at least wait till the story happens.
Back, but not in like an anniversary special kind of way where a current Doctor goes back in the timeline. No. I want to come back as the current Doctor. Can we make that happen? And if the showrunner's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, let's just throw regeneration out the freaking window. Yeah.
That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. I don't think that's at all what they're doing. There's going to be a very specific reason why Tennant's face is back. Because clearly that's what Russell's going for. It's a shock. This isn't normal.
Yeah.
The closer we've gotten to something like this before is Peter Capaldi's Doctor regenerating because of Sir Pike. What was his name? I forget his character's name in Fires of Pompeii.
Oh, Caecilius.
That's it. There you go. Because of that moment, which unfortunately they wasted in Girl Who Died, I think the episode is called.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, that shit episode. Shame they wasted that there, because Fires on Pompeii is fantastic. It's a great episode. Beautiful stuff. But yeah, yeah, I just don't agree. I don't think that's what they're doing at all. Ruining the idea of regeneration. Again, we don't know what's happened. This seems very it feels jumping the gun, not gonna lie.
The fact that that is the case now, and that possibility's been opened up, when I watch End of Time again, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to feel the same way about it. And
I know I will, because that's still going to be there. There's not really much you can do to like ruin Tennant's sort of ending as the 10th Doctor. I don't see... The most you could probably say is maybe Donna's like ending is a bit scuffed, because that still is a worry. But with Tennant, I don't really see like how that's going to be like sort of ruined in any way. But that might be just me, you know.
I don't have reason to believe that Russell would do that.
No, I don't either. Because it's clearly going to be the point. The fact that Tennant's face is back is strange, and that's going to be a very big factor in these specials. I don't see how Tennant's ending being ruined at all with him coming back in this way. It could be. I don't think it's impossible, but I don't think it's likely with how important sort of Russell's, I guess, thought and feelings of that arc is, you know? I don't think he would go out his way to sort of ruin it in this sort of way. Yeah, just seems very bad faith so far, really, so far, this video.
I think that's the same for every regeneration story. Regeneration story is a big deal for any and every Doctor that has came before. When they leave, it's a big decision, you know? They are really sad to go, and you see these actors that have loved and adored the show, and...
My problem with this video so far, there's a very much lack of arguments. He's not really said much other than Tennant's coming back, it's completely ruined, End of Time, emotionals weight. But it hasn't really explained why so far, and we're about 4.5 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's very strange. We're sort of saying stuff and not really claiming why we're going down this path, I guess.
There's still time.
Are really to be leaving. One of the reasons I think that they're sad to be leaving is because they can never come back. There's no...
Well, no. They've come back in anniversaries before. I don't think that's why they're sad. It's because they're leaving such a big role and a big part of their lives. I feel more so that's the reason. Because of the like the sort of established world of Doctor Who, they can absolutely come back for an episode. That's not impossible. That's not the. I don't think that's the reason at all. They're crying because they're leaving us, because it's a big part of their lives. Like, this is a big role. It's a massive role in terms of British television and just television in general.
Let's assume that what he means is that they come back as the incumbent Doctor. Let's say that's what he means and continue. See if that's what he goes with, because I think that's his best argument that he could make.
It's not well. Yeah.
Back with regeneration, and I honestly think it's a dangerous precedent to be setting for the show. The fact
this isn't going to be an occurring thing. I can tell you right now, this isn't going to happen often.
If that happened all the time, then that would be an issue. But this is an anniversary.
There's an anniversary special
presented as being strange.
This feels like, I don't know if you realise, but like we're not going to get Peter Davison come back as the Doctor again. We're not going to have Sylvester McCoy come back as the incumbent Doctor again. Like this is rarely going to happen ever. Just from the sheer fact, people are getting older. Unless we're going to go down the road of completely CGIing the Doctor, which that would be pretty scary if that did happen.
But it is going to Disney Plus, so you never know.
never know. But yeah, Tennant's only coming back for 3 specials.
No, because it's not being presented as that they coming back for an entire era. This is for a short.
As the most they've said is this is an incarnation,
and it's being presented as unusual.
Yeah, presented unusual, but also this is
what could be a problem.
Yeah.
What could be a problem is once Russell T leaves the show again, and you have another showrunner trying to do this again and again and again, just for bringing back the fans. That
also
would be an issue. That's not what's happening.
Stuck makes a great point with obviously Tom Baker coming back in Day of the Doctor as a different incarnation. This has been established like very long ago, and it's not the craziest thing.
The point again, the point that you have to stick on that is that he wasn't the incumbent Doctor in that role. He was a future Doctor.
But
This
even
is an
though
example of the current
technically,
Doctor being passed on.
eventually he would be, in the universe, like he's very
Yes,
much
but again, we're
speaking from
talking
a
about
meta. Yeah, he's talking from a meta standpoint. But I don't believe for a second this is going to be a regular thing at all. There's no real way to do it.
It's bad faith to assume that the show's going to do that.
We're going to have Jodie Whittaker come back in like 10 years' time. There's no... this is more...
Gone really low.
Has it? Oh, has it? Has it?
Yeah, you sound like a whale. You're like, oh,
is that on
Jodie Whittaker? That's what you said.
Is that on your end, or my voice just very... I might need to get some water in a second. Because my throat is pretty dry.
Oh my god, it sounds hilarious.
Well, I don't. Has that happened on my? Is that happened on the stream? Is it my mic being strange, guys, or is it just on Connor's end? I might be just on Connor's end. Is it fixed now?
No, it hasn't fixed itself. It still hasn't fixed itself.
Oh wow, wow, that's not fun at all.
That just suddenly happened. You sound really low.
Oh, is it on the stream, guys? I don't want to. Oh, please tell me this hasn't fucked up my mic. That would be nice.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, they can hear you too. So it's your end.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Well, what did you do?
I haven't clicked anything. Hold on.
Hello.
Oh yeah, that's fixed it. You fixed it.
Okay, that was strange. Don't know what happened. I literally just unplugged my mic and plugged it back in.
Oh my god, when you re-listen to the stream, it's so funny.
Oh, well, there you go. You know what's so funny? That's a great time to say that, Prime, because I have actually been playing God of War Ragnarok, and I have been doing, like, at work, just on my own, doing lines of Kratos. So that's quite funny. That's quite funny. Alright, well, I guess before we carry on, I'll actually get...
so out of nowhere.
I'm going to get some water. Oh, we will... Since my voice is clearly dry, obviously, that was the issue.
Encoding day 13 review. 36 minutes to go. Why David Tennant being the 14th Doctor is a bad idea. Yes, no, I've even back in the day during the original Who Addicts run, I've always had weird tisms with James Wilson. There's just something about, I mean, I have it with all of them, but there's something about his way of dealing with certain things in the meta is just so strange. It's so off the truth. It's so idiosyncratic with the actual, this is what the story is. He talks at his ass from like weird sideways points. I mean, it's not just a James Wilson thing, you know, it's also a Matt Rowney thing, and it was also a Liv thing too. They have their own weird things that I always got just confused by. But I think the more you cover their videos, the more you can point them out exactly in the moment and then identify how to describe the things that they say and do that you're like, that's very weird.
I was just thinking, is this the same person I used with the Hellbent clip?
What?
Is this the same person I used from the clips I showed of people's reactions to End of to Hellbent? Because I used Council of Geeks, you, Adam, and then Hugh Alex.
It might be, yeah.
Because I remember the clip of it. Even Willow's fucking, you know, hates it. You know, like of their dog. That was in that clip.
Oh,
I don't know if
it
you
might
remember.
be that, yeah.
Because if you remember, I remember that. I remember that clip I put in my Hellbent video of you just staring into the distance as Adam just talks about, you know, not people thinking they don't understand Hellbent. It's just one of my favourite things I've done in any video, honestly.
When we do understand it, we very much got it. We just did not like it.
Because it was shit. And he says, like, tell us what you got out of the video, what you got right about it. Which I think is quite... I don't know why, it made me laugh when I heard that the first time. And then
Matt
after that...
He's very good when it comes to... Oh, go ahead.
And then but after that, you said, anything to make the pain and suffering stop.
Yep, that's it.
Very funny.
Me and Adam used to go very unhinged back then.
Oh, when it came to Hellbent, yeah.
That was 4 years ago.
Remember when that was the worst episode of Doctor Who? Then Chibnall really tries to challenge that. Definitely put up a fight, that's for sure.
Old Chris Chibi. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Old Big Chibbers.
That's right.
I get Hellbent, which is why I do not like it. Exactly! It is shite. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
I really hope... Obviously, Twitter loves it. Twitter loves Hellbent, but let's not get it twisted. Hellbent is fucking garbage.
I think some Tempo once said, Hellbent is actually the Timeless Children, but good.
I mean, you can just say it's like the Timeless Children and just end it there because they're both... Yeah. Hellbent is still the worst episode of Doctor Who, in my opinion. No, it's the Timeless Child now. Children, sorry. I think that's worse, slightly worse.
Didn't Jeb say Survivors of the Flux is the worst one?
True, that's also very fucking bad. Survivors of the Flux is fucking awful. God, that was one of the... Those last two episodes of Flux were one of the worst edited episodes of Doctor Who, honestly. And then Legend of the Sea Delve was just one of the worst produced. Well, no, Twitter just loves the Capaldi era. They just love it for some reason. You know?
Because my themes, but they
Yeah.
without the actual earning the themes, they like the ideas. And
Yeah,
they
but
like
Rose
the
is a
actors.
bitch, Connor. Rose is a bitch. And
Clearly.
the 10th Doctor is an arsehole to Martha, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not the reason that.
Yeah.
That you can come back at any time. I don't know.
Well, they can at
If
any
Russell
time.
doesn't wrap
Because
this
it's a
up
time
at the end
travel
of
show.
David Tennant's new episodes, and if Russell T.
We already know that he is. What are you talking about? We already know that he's leaving. Is that what he's... Let me rewind, because I don't want to misquote him here.
I don't know. If Russell doesn't wrap this up at the end of David Tennant's new episodes, and if Russell T Davies doesn't draw a line under it and go, no, this is a one-off, David...
But he has done that.
But it
He's
is a
already
one-off.
said what it's going
It
to
literally
be.
is a one-off. It's very much been presented as a one-off. What are you talking about?
What's the monk scene? I forgot what the monk scene was in Survivors of the Flux.
The monk
Are
scene.
you talking about the... Oh yeah, talking about the bloody... The fucking... What's it? The hermit on the hill. In the Himalayas. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, yeah. Weren't you really angry at that scene?
I was really angry because it reminds me of like those cringy ads you get on TV. That are like, look, we're doing something unexpected in a place and location with people that you wouldn't expect to say these words. That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like he looks like he's religious, which makes him serious, but then he's not serious and he's talking like a comedian. Isn't that so quirky, guys?
Yeah.
Also, because of you know, how the Himalayas have been portrayed previously in the show has been so much better than that scene.
Yeah, the Flux was pretty terrible, unfortunately.
Tennant is the one and only former Doctor that's going to be the Doctor twice. He's never
Tom
going to
Baker
be,
as well.
you know, the Doctor again. No other Doctor can be the Doctor again. Okay.
Well, I feel like he's trying to fearmonger this idea. It's like, oh, he's going to come back again for a third time for more fan service. Oh, be scared, be scared.
He comes back after Shooty Gatwa.
He sounds like a conspiracy theorist about this
Yeah, a
show.
little bit. It's a bit... Again, a bit bad faith under, you know, Russell. This is like... Again, this is a very unique idea, and it's not really going to happen again, at least not in this way. Like, in 50 years' time, if I could Doctor in 50 years' time, you know.
The problem with this video is that he's projecting bad things onto something that isn't inherently bad. He's saying that these things might happen. I'm like, you don't know that.
This is
You don't know
bad.
that's what's going to happen.
This is inherently bad. I don't get... It's not inherently bad, but, you know, if it sets... It could absolutely go badly wrong in the future with future showrunners, you know. It could, but... It's not an inherent bad idea at all to bring back a previous incarnation.
It doesn't mean don't do it altogether. It just means communicate to people, this is why I did this idea, and you should not do it again, because it's supposed to be special.
Mm-hmm.
If Russell decides to draw a line under that and make it so that this can never happen again, and it's basically a narrative fluke.
Well, he's trying to present it as being the law of diminishing returns, but again, that's not what's happening, and you don't know that's going to happen after. What you shouldn't criticize is this being a bad idea. What you should criticize is it happening after this point being a bad idea, and make that applicable when it is applicable. Why? Tell me, James Wilson needs to tell us why this exact thing that's happening in the next year over 3 episodes is a bad idea, not what's going to happen after. Because there's no guarantee that, you know, the balls are all going to roll from that point. It's not like this is an inciting incident that guarantees more bad things after. That they could be easily avoided if the people writing the show just don't do those things. It's absolutely fine to not do it again, and there's no reason why they have to.
Chat, is the stream buffering at all? Because I'm getting a lot of drop frames right now, which is a bit unfortunate. You've just seen on stream that I've had to lower the bit rate. Yeah, for some reason I'm getting a lot of drop frames.
It looks okay. It looks okay when I'm looking at the stream.
I just want to get a quick hearsay on chat. Because it's a tad annoying seeing all this red. This little box being red. My internet's not great, so yeah, I knew this was probably going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll press on. Hopefully everything is fine.
Like a miracle of regeneration, really. If that doesn't happen, and he's like, yeah, this can happen any other time. This can happen again. You know, if any head writer wants to, they could just bring a doctor back to life whenever. Yeah, that's gonna really affect the way I see any doctor's ending going forward. To me, it matters that a doctor can only exist once.
I mean, sure, but again, this is clearly going to be a one-off. It's very much presented as a one-off. But like, I don't think it's a bad idea at all to have a incarnation be revisited, and you know, with an interesting idea behind it, you know. I'm not sure. It's like, again, pretty bad faith, I would probably say.
Someone from my work said they think the idea of David Tennant being the 14th Doctor is lazy.
I don't get how that's lazy.
Because they're bringing back something that was successful rather than creating something new to be successful. But it's like, we are.
But this is new. This is a new idea. It's never been done before. It's quite. If you're going to look up the definition of new, this would fit into that category.
It's not a new actor, though, is it?
Not a new
That's the point they're trying to make.
But the idea of it being the same face in a different incarnation is a new idea. It's an interesting idea that I think honestly it should be explored at some point in the show's lifetime, and we're getting it now. If it's happened, I think if it's happened after Colin Baker, if it's happened after like Tom Baker, like if fucking John Pertwee came back after, it wouldn't be this much backlash. It's because of all 50-year history, nearly 60th, bit being David Tennant under Russell. I think that's again why there's a bit more backlash than there probably would be. Just saying.
People just see the same actor and they say, "Oh, they're rehashing old stuff." That's all they see.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Hmm.
You know, he or she is only that person for a short period of time, and I think to me that was always one of the reasons why the Doctor didn't like goodbyes. Why he could never get too attached to a companion, why he could never get too familiar with a companion's family, you know, why he was always willing to, you know, spend.
I will say this, honestly, this is very important, please, make a script for your videos, please. Honestly, it will help you in the long run. Really will. Take it from me. I used to do videos off the cuff, and they were shite. If for these kind of videos, you probably need to at least make notes and have a script. It will really help you.
Yeah. Time with humans and save their lives, but only for a little while. He couldn't, have like full-on close conversations with them because, there's only a short amount of time that he or she is even going to be this person. They're not going to be like that forever. So the Doctor is always having to say goodbye to a piece of
But
themselves.
that's not. Well, that's the thing. It's not the regenerating into a different form is not the only reason, though. It's not just about that. There's an incompatibility that comes with being a Time Lord that is separate to regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Every single generate, and
Also, again, this is something that's happening once in a blue moon, as an alternative idea, and potentially has been influenced by the Celestial Toymaker as well. We don't know that for sure, but it's a possibility that could reinforce it.
And again,
To
also,
me,
actually,
that's-
Asmat makes a great point in chat. It also makes the most sense to do it with a face that never accepted his end, that didn't want to go. It being about that kind of idea for that incarnation being brought back is very clearly a reason why he's been brought back. There's a clear, obviously, there's a good link there. It being like,
Also,
if it was like Matt Smith, it's like,
what's
there's not as
going to
much-
make me shake my head? What's going to make me shake my head though is when you're going to get people to be like, "Oh, this fixed the end of time. Now the end of time makes more
the
sense." 'cause-"
14th Doctor fixed the 10th.
Yeah, that's what people are going to say.
Why Russell fixed...
Russell realized he wrote a bad story and he fixed it. That's what.
Yeah, that's going to annoy me. That will absolutely happen, by the way, and we'll be here to cover it. Don't you worry. Next year, this time next year, that video is going to be covered when it eventually gets made, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Also, we're halfway through the video now. Exactly halfway.
Getting through this pretty well, actually.
It's
Mainly
funny
because
how
there's been a
this
lot
is
of rambling. Not gonna lie.
So, Callum, as someone who's experienced enough long form Pink Floyd songs, would you say that those songs have provided you more stuff in 7 minutes than this guy has in 7 minutes?
Oh, absolutely. Again, this is very rambly, and it's just like not a lot of points are being made. More like, I want the show to be this. It's now not doing that. Therefore, this is a bad idea. Really, when you really boil it down to that. There's not actually any arguments being made of why this could potentially be a bad idea, other than it could have a bad precedent of on future.
It could lead to other bad things happening in future that have nothing to do with this writer.
Mm-hmm. But that's about it in terms of actual argumentation.
And then there's also that weird fearmongering thing of, oh, they say he's going to be here for a short time, but what if Russell just gives in and has him stay on? It's just like, no, we know that's not going to happen.
What happens if he comes back after Shooty Gatwa,
Yeah.
Again, there's not really any... I feel like we've made arguments of why it could be a very interesting idea to revisit a character / incarnation that didn't accept his end because of his vanity, because of how he lived his incarnation, and what happened in result of that, was obviously the scene with Wilf and him saving him, why he felt it was unfair, doing all he did, realising what he said, and then doing, saving Wilf like he always was going to, but still not happy about dying and not being able to really sort of redeem himself in a lot of ways. It makes a lot of sense to bring that kind of character back for an incarnation.
He has a self-loathing as well about his egotistical side. He hates the fact that he enjoys it, and that's something that a lot of people can. Well, not a lot of people, but some people can certainly relate to. Actually,
yeah, absolutely.
Always been an important part of the show. That that's part of the Doctor's personalities. Part of the Doctor's whole time-traveling life is that that's one of the reasons why the Doctor can't commit, why the Doctor...
It's not... Firstly, it's not just about regeneration. Secondly, even if it was, this is an exception. This is not something that's guaranteed. It's just something that's happening once.
Yeah,
and will
again,
happen again many, many, many lifetimes down the road with the curator. And that's not to say that it's going to happen all the time.
no. Well, but especially with the fact that now the Doctor's going to regenerate permanently now, every time, seemingly. If that is going to be established at some point, or whether Russell established that the Doctor has been set, even now, to a certain time of regenerations.
Yeah, he's going to have to address what the Timeless Children did.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen at some point, you'd imagine. Like, is the Doctor have infinite, unlimited regenerations, or were they then forced into fixed amounts? If is that the case? Because it makes time of the Doctor strange. Because best faith, the Doctor is on a set. Because that's probably what the Time Wars would do, but obviously we don't know. That's just assuming.
I mean, the one thing, thankfully, that Chibnall hasn't retconned is that at least the Doctor can still die outright.
Yeah, thankfully.
But because it's a TV show, that probably won't.
I just remembered that. I just remember that stupid scene of when the first, the child Doctor, falls off the cliff.
Oh yeah.
How fucking stupid that was.
He probably did that because of Broadchurch. He wanted to tie connective tissue to that show he did. That's my guess.
Yeah, but...
He's like, well, I had a kid fall off a cliff in my show, so I'll do that with the Doctor as well. Except, as far as I'm aware, when the kid falls off a cliff in Broadchurch, that actually makes sense, right?
Yeah, I believe. Well, yeah.
We don't actually see it, do we?
No, I can't. Honestly, I can't remember. Nope, stream died apparently. Should be back, hopefully. It's back on my end, so that should be fine. Yeah, I don't remember. I haven't watched Broadchurch since 2017.
You know what's weird is that because I've got the stream open on my phone, so I can look at the comments. It's never died for me. It's been there the whole time.
It has buffered a few times for me, but it should be fine if everyone just reloads. The kid doesn't fall off. Well, yeah, because the kid dies in the inside a build, like a house thing. It's not like a real house really, but it's a place where people obviously would go. But he dies there, and I think the actual murderer throws him off the cliff.
Yeah, to make it look like that's what happened.
Yeah. They didn't take him there to kill him. He didn't mean to kill him because they were like spending time together. But it's like really strange. Yes,
but the thing is, Sam Montgomery, that up in the air thing that they said in Hell Bent doesn't exist anymore because of the Timeless Children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many regenerations did we give you?
Which implies that different Time Lords get different sets, even though it's established that they get 12.
Even though in the TV movie, Paul McGann says over narration, a Time Lord has 13 lives. It's not just the Doctor.
Yeah, they get 12 regenerations, yeah. 13 lives. Which is, yeah, again, another reason why Hellbent is silly, because of that line is inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because with the Timeless Children is that Chibnall, by leaning into one home story...
Because what would be the point of giving longer or shorter lives? Really? Why not just have infinite lives? Especially from the Time Lord's perspective. Especially after the Time War. If that's a power they have, they could change the amount. Wouldn't they just make permanent, like unlimited regenerations? That's a topic for another day. Yeah, he carries Danny's body down to the beach so it looks like a suicide. I guess that's what happened. I think actually that is what happens.
Oh yeah, because if it was, if he just threw him off the cliff, he'd probably like turn to fucking.
Oh yeah,
mush on
true.
the sand.
Exactly. That probably would happen. But I haven't watched it in ages, and probably I don't know. Watching Broadchurch again, probably like for like a recording watch along would be interesting.
That does make me think if he carried him down to the beach, did he use a rake on all the sand to make it look like there isn't footprints?
Yeah, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea to watch in the way we watched Arcane, watch Broadchurch to see if it does hold up or not. That probably would not be a bad idea.
I don't know if I want to do that. I tried watching Broadchurch once. I just couldn't do it. I just can't watch it. It's just so Chibnall.
I honestly don't remember how good or bad it is. That's the thing.
I remember it having good acting and good direction, but I just still can't watch it. It's so Chibnall.
Never stay in one place for too long, because his life, his very existence, is the epitome of always moving forward and never going back. He can look back occasionally for anniversary specials and such, you know, for little callbacks, tip of the hat to the...
That is actually, like, in the meta, that is what's happening.
Yeah, in the meta, that's what's happening.
Also, he's making some very bold claims about what the Doctor is, definitively.
Again, also, the Doctor never gets to choose what they look like, ever.
Yeah, the other Time Lords do, but the Doctor doesn't have that power because the Doctor doesn't know how to utilize that power because the Doctor is
the most you get is like him try. The most you get is obviously like we mentioned before with Capaldi.
There's subconscious things that he does, but he doesn't know how to control it outright.
No, he can't.
Like the Master actually can control,
because as it's said in Born Again, he literally can't choose to go back.
Yeah, whereas the whereas the Master has shown that they actually can choose what they look like because they know how to. But this all ties back to something that was established in classic Doctor Who about how the Doctor was so lowly achieving in the Gallifreyan studies.
Yeah, exactly.
That they don't have the knowledge to harness that power.
Well, yeah, obviously, like in something like War Games, they have like selections for him, so they have the power to pick what.
Well, the thing is, in
incarnation
in
they can
Utopia, the Master chooses to look like John
Yeah.
Sim.
That's what he sort of like harnesses. He, like, the idea of being young and strong to like rival Tennant's appearance.
To the past, like we had with the power of the Doctor before the ending, but he never.
That's subconscious though,
full on
so that's different.
Goes backwards, but now he actually has, and to me, that feels like abandoning an important message in Doctor Who.
Not everything has to be a goddamn so like deep message, you know. The idea.
You could tell this. You could tell why this guy is such a big fan of Chibnall Who because he loves the messages.
Mm-hmm. Also, again, why do you not think that there is going to be that kind of message with Tennant as 14? Why is that not a possibility at all?
This is something that we say in a later calendar video, which I won't spoil, but one thing that's really overlooked about RTD is that he's really good at handling theme, and people don't really talk about that.
Absolutely. Very big on themes, he is. Very big.
It's quite certain that this is a different version of the Doctor, and for sure, it's a slightly different suit, but it's still the same kind of style as.
Also, that's a good point, Sam. The other closest we've gotten was when the 8th Doctor wanted to be a warrior. So that's also, and that was a very specific scene of him drinking a certain like liquid that made him turn into that. So that's also, that's also established. That is also the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but the difference is that the Eighth Doctor didn't have control over that. That was because of
No.
the Sisterhood of Khan.
Yeah.
Keepers of the flame of utter boredom.
Of utter boredom. That's such a good fucking line and delivery. It's done that so well. I like Night of the Doctor, despite what Jay says.
The 10th Doctor, and also people have been saying that he sounds different, that he's got a different accent.
No, he doesn't. He clearly doesn't. It's the same British accent that he has. We could tell straight away. It sounds exactly the same. So, I don't know. I think people need to fix their ears.
Not hearing it. I'm hearing the same exact way that he's always said, what?
Yeah, well, we've agreed to something. Agreed to something on this video, at least. I think that's the version we've agreed with. He does sound the same.
His tone is
He does sound the same.
His tone is slightly different. He's whispering as opposed to yelling. That's a difference, I guess.
I get. Oh yeah, that's true. It's because he's on his own, and it's not like a
But
big
that's not
like.
an accent thing.
No, it's not.
That's not an accent thing.
That's a volume
that's
thing.
Like a decision.
I'm hearing exactly that same way that David Tennant always said it as the 10th Doctor. And again, the suit looks slightly different, has a slightly different design. The coat's blue instead of
Why are we talking
brown.
about surface level stuff, though?
Very observant, I guess you are. You're very observant. Yes, it does look different.
You're observing things that are like just literally the most surface level, superficial parts of the character, though.
For a second, I was worried he was going to say that. The suit is like fine. I was really worried he was going to say that because that suit is fucking gorgeous.
Oh yeah. But he's talking more about, it looks the same as the 2000s. It's a bit different.
The suit's got kind of like a Scottish tartan design and doesn't really have the brown pinstripe suit or the blue pinstripe suit. So it's slightly different, but you can still tell it's an archetype, at least, of the...
Maybe there's a reason for that. Is that not something to think about? Maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know. If only we could know who's writing this. Maybe we could be like,
notice how they had him regenerate into the suit, which is something also... The only other time we've ever had that is when the first Doctor regenerated into the second Doctor. So this is like, it's a different thing they're doing.
Well, have you actually seen that, the leaked TARDIS interior, Connor?
Seen the concept art for it. It's not
No, there's a
thing.
leaked video of the interior that it's not completely finished, but there's like a video where you can actually see it's actually quite seemingly going to be a big set.
Yeah, they haven't put the colours in yet though.
I'm looking forward to it. The console does look a little bit like, not completely the same, it's slightly different, but it does look similar to like the Tennant Eccleston TARDIS. But it looks like it's going to be a mix of like Capaldi's, and if I was to hazard a guess, based on obviously with no colour though, that it might be a mix between like something like Capaldi's / Smith's second one and the Tennant Eccleston one. Which honestly might be a good idea. It's a nice mix of the sort of grunginess of the console, but also like the sort of spaceship design of the Smith Capaldi one. I'd be up for that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to like what the costume for Gat was gonna be. Honestly, I'm really excited to see what that's gonna be. I mean, if it's anything to go off this costume. Boy, we're in for a treat, because this costume for Tennant is fucking gorgeous.
10th Doctor. It's, I don't know, it's sort of like, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's regeneration trying to remember what the 10th Doctor is. Like when you get, I don't know, like AI.
What? Okay. This is strange. It's like what an AI would think, trying to remember what a Tennant suit looks like. I mean, yeah, it's a different variation on, but it's clearly like there's quite big differences. Like the tie is different, and the like
why
pin
are we
suit
talking
is
about
different.
This, though?
Exactly, I don't get why.
Relevant?
Like the pin suit is a lot. It's actually a waistcoat as well, so it's different. Actually, it's quite different. Yeah, exactly. Again, yeah. This is a very strange topic to discuss. The costume is slightly different, but obviously it's like a previous variation of the Tennant suit. Again, not even thinking about the idea that maybe there might be a point to that there's actually a reason for all this.
To try and design the 10th Doctor for you. Like, this is the Doctor that it would come up with. Like, it's the 10th Doctor, but not quite. But yeah, if he'd looked vastly different from the 10th Doctor, like flat hair, bit of...
Oh no, don't again. This is there's a big reason why he looks similar to how he did before. It's so clear there's going to be a reason for it. It's crazy that this idea of it being similar with the same face. I don't get how this is not an idea that's going through his head right now.
Well, you know, he's a big fan of Chibnall Who, so he must like being told. That's my guess.
Facial fuzz, entirely different looking suit, maybe went with an entirely different accent to make it, to make it look a complete, 360 from the 10th.
You mean
That's
180?
Yeah,
not
180. 360 would be going back to the same place. That'd be the same position. Again, though, that's not what they're doing. That isn't what they're doing, but we don't know what they're doing with what we've seen so far. Again, we don't know what's going to happen because it's not out yet. We still have 11 months to go. Again, this is just kind of bad faith because you don't know what's happening.
Doctor, then I would probably get on board with it a little bit more. Like that this is an entirely different, entirely new performance of the Doctor from David Tennant. If that was the case, then I feel
like that would be more, for me, I feel like that would be a slightly more shallow with what I'm expecting. Because it's literally just, you could have hired someone else for that. But it's Tennant, you bring back Tennant, there's going to be we've got to do, I think what they're going to do is more interesting, honestly. I mean, it's like, yeah, that's just me. I feel like it being very similar but slightly different in like sort of like his appearance, but there's a lot of similarities in it being the same face and that being strange, and that's going to be brought up in the specials. I think is more interesting to explore with the 10th Doctor incarnation and what sort of his arc was.
probably get on board for it. But
that's a good point, actually. RTD has adapted some of the ideas they were going to do in season 27 with the TARDIS that didn't end up happening because the show got cancelled.
Version that we have is still the 10th Doctor. It's nothing new. That's
again, you don't know that. The fucking episodes haven't come out. You've seen 10 seconds and a trailer, and that's it. Unless he hasn't actually fucking watched the trailer that came after the episode aired.
Oh, he's definitely watched the trailer.
So I don't know why he's like, we're just doing the same thing again like we did 10, 12 years ago. It's like, it's clearly going to be fucking important as to why this has happened. Why are we assuming it's not? Why are we assuming it's just going to be the same thing again for 3 episodes? Ugh.
Seems to be happening, but that I am kind of jumping the gun with.
Yes, you are. You've been jumping the gun for 10 minutes and haven't said anything else. That's all this video has been. You jump with the gun for no actual, real, valid reason, honestly.
So I will wait until David's new episodes come out before I pass on any judgment. He may have done...
You've already said that you think this is a bad idea. There's a title of the fucking video. You're literally judging it right now. What are you talking about? Fucking hell. The comments actually agree with this. He said nothing. He's only said, I think this is a bad idea because could set a bad precedent, you know, for future incarnations, and that's it. That's all this video has been.
Something different with the part.
It's so weird because like in the last few weeks I've been watching, you know, A Song of Ice and Fire / you know, Game of Thrones content on YouTube, and just how much more together, intelligent, and like sensible the fans are in that community is insane compared to this. You know, you watch any live stream with Alt Shift X or Glidus or David Lightbringer, like they just all actually have it together, whereas you watch this and they're just like, I wonder why it's the same. That could be bad.
Yeah.
Hoping he's an extremely talented actor, and I love him dearly, so I do indeed hope that he comes up with something new for the part.
He's not writing the show though.
Yeah, it's almost as if he hasn't. He hasn't talked about Russell at all. Like this guy who's known for doing very new and innovative stuff with his stories, and even in Doctor Who, like the introduction of the Time War was like a very radical change from classic Who. He's done these kind of ideas before. This is a very big change, and I have the best faith that he will probably deliver a pretty decent story and deliver on this idea that he's coming with of a incarnation returning. And it's as if like it's like he wants the performance just to be different, just with the same face. I think that's just what he wants. But he's afraid that it's going to be the same. We're just going to run the classics back. He's going to say what? He's going to say Alonzi. He's going to have the screwdriver, even though it's actually a different one. Actually, I remembered just now.
Yeah, because I know that he likes the Curator, but the Curator's different from the Fourth Doctor, even though he has some of the same mannerisms.
Yeah, it's the exact same mannerisms. He acts the same way, just more a lot older. And I guess, you know, calmer. I don't know what the other word would be.
Has written something different with this Doctor.
You hope.
And
Finally
hasn't,
said
you
that.
know, went back to the usual, the usual stuff. But the fact that he has recast Catherine Tate and all the other noble family,
I mean, if you're going to bring back Catherine Tate, why wouldn't the others come back? That's not that strange.
But he's commenting on the fact that he's brought back all those characters as well, and he's saying that that's a rehash. That's what he's trying to say.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me though. I'm more worried about Donna coming back than David Tennant's incarnation. Just personally, because obviously of how her ending was handled, and even with the present of like in End of Time, her mind was wasn't written the best. Won't lie. Also, yeah, exactly. We have a new character in the noble family anyway. There is something new to be added. Obviously, not only with it being obviously the daughter of Donna, but also it being a trans character, which is not something that's happened before in the show.
Temple Noble.
Of there being a main
Noble
character, trans character.
You reckon
yeah.
they're gonna make a joke about is Rose's last name Temple Noble and Noble Temple? That would surprise me.
Into who doesn't really give me much hope for anything entirely new, but I'm hoping that
literally a new character.
some slight differences. Before I wrap this video up, I will say one more thing. David Tennant is an extremely popular Doctor, and I love him. He's honestly one of the more Doctors that I actually go back and watch the most often. If I fancy watching an episode of Doctor Who, I'm not binge watching or anything, I just fancy watching an episode one day, I guarantee you it's probably a David Tennant episode that I've watched. So he is most certainly the most popular Doctor that's been cast since Tom Baker. That much is a guarantee, and I see why everyone is so excited to see him back. And on some level, I'm really excited to see him back too.
Very rambly, this video.
I don't know, I just feel like at the same time, it kind of...
This is something you've pointed out to me before. It's really funny how many people say, I don't know. Just instinctively just say that. They just like, I don't know.
I don't know. And this video could have been like half its length easily. Honestly.
Where's the confidence? I want to see some confidence from these people.
It kind of ruins a little bit of what we already had with him. That was
why you haven't said anything as to why it's ruined anything. You're speaking very in the meta of Tennant coming back, rather than the actual narrative, because right now the narrative hasn't been affected at all yet. All we know is that the incarnation of Tennant is returning, and that's it.
He's returning, and she is returning.
The end of time itself. But he really hasn't said anything worthwhile to really dissect, other than he's just worried for more just for like meta reasons, really. And even then, those are not that complicated, I guess, to just dissect. There's a very, very empty video, I will say. It's very, very, very empty.
So brilliant, you know, and I just hate that being messed with a little bit, you know. I think
well, nothing's been messed with yet.
The time that we had with his Doctor was beautiful, and any of that being compromised, even if that's to add more time onto his Doctor, it just kind of, I don't know, it just feels like it's cheapening his legacy as the Doctor a little bit, you know, to have him come back 12 years later for 3 episodes, you know, like that was basically Russell's way of, you know, trying to drag fans back over to the show.
I mean, yeah, that's what he's doing. He's bringing back Tennant for multiple reasons, and one of them is to garner hype for the anniversary and hopefully keeping those fans for when Gatwa takes over. Like, that is a reason.
Yeah, because if he didn't, well, here's the thing: if he didn't do this idea, he would have done a multi-Doctor story, most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
And
yeah.
Instead of doing that, he's done something else. He's done something new with it. So he's basically, like most showrunners do for an anniversary, find ways to bring fans back in to watch the anniversary and gain hype for the show. But also, he's done a new idea that's different. And that's going to be a story worth telling that is something we haven't had before.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like we've had 3 Doctors, we've had the 5 Doctors, and we've had the Day of the Doctor. Why not do something else?
Yeah. Again, I've got. Again, if it's literally like a toy, make a mess of it. That's like totally fine. That doesn't ruin anything of any time for me.
And also, I don't know if he knew this or not, but if he knew that Chris Chibnall was going to have past Doctors in his last episode, then maybe he thought it would be a good idea to do something different in the episodes that come after it.
Because his argument right now is basically he does not want the current Doctor to be an old actor being an official incarnation again. That's
incumbent one.
Yeah, that's his issue. That's clearly what his issue has been, but he hasn't, other than, I just don't think the show should be like that. That's just the extent of, and also I don't want the other incarnation who was that that Doctor was in to be ruined. That's basically it, really. And there's not really been much argument, at all from that.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite Doctor episodes. Will you now keep watching it for the next 5 to 8 years?
Probably, yes.
Probably,
me,
yeah.
I just feel
Those
like
episodes are still there.
Because Russell's a talented writer that knows how to capture an audience. Have you forgotten that?
And even then, those episodes are still like. Then most of them have nothing to do with him coming back. This is
once again going back to that thing that we saw on what was it, the Ecom stream, where people are like, "Oh, people will stop watching after Tennant leaves again." It's like, no, you don't know that.
Don't know that, and it will depend. It really will.
Who was that made that video? Was it Harbo?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was also another bad video on this topic.
Yeah.
Kind of ruins what we had with him a little bit. And
again, I don't see how it does. It really, speaking to someone who absolutely thinks the 10th Doctor is the best incarnation, this doesn't ruin it at all, really. Because it's nothing to do with the idea of what that Doctor was. Really? In a sense, like him being brought back as what I'm going to assume is him being messed with by whether it's a toy maker or not, just the villain, just as simple as that. That doesn't ruin what came before, really. It doesn't ruin something like Midnight. It doesn't ruin something like Waters of Mars. I don't see how it ruins them.
You know what's going to be hilarious is we'll get till next year when these episodes air, and James Wilson's going to watch them, and he's going to most likely think they're great, and he's going to have his head in his hands and be like, "Oh, what was I talking about?" That's
probably.
what I predict.
If
You'll get the subject sections of Doctor Who Twitter that will reinforce this idea and be like, "Oh, it was bad because it's fan wank," and they just won't actually talk about the story they're being told.
No.
That at the very least.
And the funniest thing is when they start to complain about the companions are going to be like, why are they acting like people? This is not nice and pleasant to watch. Oh my god, Ruby Sunday is such a bitch. She's like Rose again because she's got blonde hair and she acts like a person.
Her name is Rose. Oh my god. And the companion's blonde. Oh my god.
That we had with him. Anyway, guys, that's me wrapping up this video. I'm sorry if it seemed a bit rambly. I am.
It was so rambly, mate. It was so rambly, mate. It was insanely rambly.
I find it funny how at the start and the end of this video he was doing apologies.
You don't need to apologize.
Should be good now. I think I've taken it over. Because I've stopped exporting now, I can do it myself. Well, I guess we'll just wait for Cal to come back. Oh dear. That's a problem. Alright, let's see. No capture. This one should be... volume off there. No. Not that one.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Are you back? Are you back? Hello? I can hear you.
Back. Oh, my internet went out and everything. Oh, no. Oh, no. Sorry, lads, my internet went out. That's what happened.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Is your computer handling it well? I need to render and stream. It's a good thing that we're near the end of the video.
Yep. Let me just. Still gotta get a few things in here because I obviously. There we go. Watch Together's there, and then that one. It's been one of the weirdest EDARs ever.
Oh, absolutely. You know, thankfully though, I have literally the recording of it, so you'll be able to watch me or hear me fucking be annoyed that my internet's gone out.
That's pretty funny.
We'll finish this video off. Oh, it's absolute shit.
All right, it's all good now. I've sorted it. No worries.
Hey.
Right. So we're all back and running and all good. It's just so weird. We've had 2 people host the same live stream.
Yeah, that's new. That's pretty new, I guess.
That's just weird.
Pretty wacky.
Pretty wacky and wild.
Yeah, this is why my internet is really fucking shit. It happens every evening. This will happen. Normally it's later though. To be fair, normally it's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. It will just go out.
Is it because of Brexit?
I guess so. Maybe.
Yes. Anyway, shall we continue? Actually, we'll roll it back a bit because I think I was saying something.
Yeah,
His
roll
era
it back
that we had
about
with him,
30
it
seconds.
at the very least ruins his final story that we had with him. Anyway, guys, that's me wrapping.
What? He just said it ruins the end of time and didn't explain why.
Yeah, it didn't explain at all. He hasn't explained why it's such a bad idea. He's more talking about the meta, and that's about it.
Oh god, what a mess.
Well, no, to be fair, my internet going out is just very consistent because my internet is not good. This is why I don't stream that often. So
I'm sorry if it seemed a bit rambly. I am, in my defense, getting over a flu. So, yeah, if I came across as a little bit groggy and like I wasn't really...
not really.
No, that's not the issue. That's not the issue, James.
No, not really.
There's other problems.
It's the fact that you said like nothing for 10 minutes and made like one point about the meta really and how it shouldn't happen because it's special. The show is special and it's different. It's like, okay, cool.
He's even got, look, it says I love Doctor Who behind him.
In case you forgot.
Also, that's not a W, that's an upside down M.
They don't have M's, I guess.
You mean they don't have
should have.
W's? They don't have W's because they only have.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I did. I said the wrong thing.
They don't have W's because they only have L's.
My point across, I do apologise.
Stop apologising! Stop being sorry!
Get your pitchforks and torches at the ready. I'll see you guys.
I'm getting my pitchforks because of how much you're having to apologise for something that you should just fix. It's not that hard.
What I've learned is, in this video, is people should, care about the audio balancing, don't make a very long intro, don't ramble, and have a script. And stop apologizing so much.
Oh yes, I like this. I like this
Honestly,
I like this from Game Triller Prime, where he says you shouldn't have 2 separate people host the same stream. It ruins the previous host. Yes, I am ruining your era as hosting this stream.
Next time.
Ah, it's loud!
Oh my god, why is that so fucking loud? No, seriously, actually, honestly, fucking fix your balancing. It's really fucking important.
God.
It's really amateurish, honestly. That's
Yep.
why I had to check, like, before those Arcane videos went out, I had to check to make sure it was alright, and it was actually pretty low. And I told Connor, make sure to balance it with the intro, you know? Make sure it's all fine.
Well, that
I mean,
was
hell, even in little known thing about the first Arcane reaction, the my mic was lower than the episode and Connor, so I had to. It's not perfect because obviously that's pretty fucking tough to do. I had to try and work around it by bring my volume up on my mic and then lowering it whenever Connor or the episode was talking. You know, it's very important audio balancing because it can be quite annoying when it's very inconsistent like that.
Yep.
But yeah, that was that video. It wasn't like one of those like bad videos we have where we are so annoyed with how bad the arguments are. There was just no arguments. It was very lackluster.
If you want to do another one, because we've only been going for how long? A couple of hours?
Yeah, we could do.
There's another Who Addicts video from the same James Wilson, who has one called
Oh, great.
It's Why is Doctor Who Returning to Basics, and it's got Millie Gibson in the thumbnail. And it's like another one with a snooze emoji.
Oh. How long is that video?
15 minutes?
Oh god. Oh god. We could try and get through it, hopefully, in the next hour and a half, I guess.
Yeah. Could be interesting.
Yeah, that video was like a time waster. I felt like we did waste our time.
Well, let's waste more time.
Oh, yay.
It's a shame because he's just come back to the channel and we're kind of shitting on him a bit.
Oh, it's not really. I don't really have a good impression of his argumentation.
Well, I've seen like hundreds of his videos from back in the day, and I know what he's like. It's just
Oh my god, yes, and now there's changed because it says the Who Addicts now,
yeah, but it's only one D instead of two.
and the A isn't.
The A is an upside down V,
fonts.
and the W is an upside down M.
Mm-hmm. Also, the screwdriver's in the way.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you have the screwdriver on top of it? That'd probably be better. Not gonna lie.
Maybe he's gonna grab it off his desk and use it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Alright.
let's get
Why
this one.
Doctor is returning to basics? Okay.
Let's do the 1 minute intro and then the loud fucking sequence.
Hey there guys, James Wilson here, and welcome once again to The Who Addicts. Today I'm going to be talking about a subject that I'm surprised me and Matthew have never talked about more in depth in a video before. But today I'm going to finally be talking about the subject, why are the Doctor Who companions always from 21st century Earth? So sit back and enjoy.
That's loud.
You know, should we just skip this because this is just a formality at this point?
Let's see.
It's just the same intro. Again, please make shorter intros or don't have one.
There we go.
Before I start, yes, I am aware my sign in the background has The Who Addicts spelt with only one D. I've heard that the sign
Well,
that
at least he's
the
self-aware.
letters only came with one D. So
Also,
for anybody watching,
you could just not have it
who
in the
gets really
video.
frustrated with misspelt words.
Oh my god, he loves wasting time, this guy.
Really sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I really am. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now, would you guys like to know
Yep.
the definition of irony? The Doctor Who companions are kind of stuck in a box, aren't they? Don't get me wrong, I am extremely excited for what Russell T Davies has planned with...
We wouldn't fucking know from the last video. We wouldn't fucking know that.
To be fair, he's talking about his. To be fair, he says he's excited about the Shooty Gatwa stuff, not the David Tennant stuff.
Mm.
Because that's actually
And
that's
this isn't me-
actually a new actor. That's different from
That's
what's in the
different.
past.
criticizing her already. I'm not laying down criticisms on her when she hasn't even started yet. I am still
Wow, fucking irony you're talking about. Interesting. I'm not gonna lay down criticisms until it's actually started. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
much open to giving this young girl a shot, and I'm very much looking forward to what she can bring to.
We can't be
the role
rude
of the
to the
companion
women.
this late in the game.
Mustn't
I've
be
gotta
rude to
admit,
the women.
When her character bio was released on Doctor Who's birthday, I did kind of look at that and sigh a bit when it said, Ruby Sunday's just a regular 21st century girl. And I just thought, oh, great. Like, I haven't seen that before. Don't get me wrong, I do know why writers feel like they have to have a companion that is living in our time and place in the TARDIS with the Doctor. I do understand why writers feel like they have to do that. It's like Millie Gibson said in her.
Well, to be
More
fair,
like, I'd
they
class
don't-
it as showrunners first of all, but yeah,
to be fair, they don't have to do that. They're just choosing to.
they don't have to either. They
Yeah.
have to, you know, if that's a choice that they're making, they can choose to do that. Like, I don't. If they did someone from either like the past or the future, I don't think they would. They wouldn't. I don't get why there would be pushback. In any way.
Well, there hasn't been before when they've done that. You know, there's been characters from past, future, and other planets, and it's been fine.
Yeah.
Gatwa when she was first announced. She did say that the companion they are the eyes into the Doctor's world, and they are our vantage point. They are our way of seeing into the Doctor's life, and I get that. I really, really do, and I don't know very much how it would feel if the Doctor was travelling about with aliens and people from other planets, and if...
Well, we have had that before, and it's been fine, though. So,
the Doctor had taken them on their travels instead. I don't know what that would feel like as much. The Doctor...
What do you mean you don't know? You've seen that. You've seen it happen. I don't know what he's talking about.
The Doctor does travel with things that aren't human sometimes, but not a great deal.
Okay, let me list off a few examples. Romana, Chameleon, K9, Nardole, Turlo. And then in terms of past and future, Jamie, Victoria, Zoe, Vicky. Yeah, there's a few options there that you could go from. Leela, Adric, Nissa. I mean, Perry's from America, if you want to count that. That's big different. Yeah. Adam Mitchell's from 2012. Captain Jack Harkness, River Song. You know, it's not like we haven't had it ever.
I can't really think of a time, at least not in the modern era, where the Doctor has travelled full time and most of the time with an alien that isn't from our earthly society. But
I mean, he did travel with Nardole quite a bit, didn't he?
A long time. Yeah, in the universe, yeah.
Yeah. And like Captain Jack and River
50
Song
years,
were
that is.
around a lot of the time. But
Didn't he take care of the vault for like 50 years?
I suppose the point he's trying to make is that the central companion hasn't been this. Because, you know, when you talk about stuff like Rose, Martha, Donna, Amy, Clara, Bill, though they aren't alien, and neither are the Chibnall ones. That's probably what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, like, I don't get how... Like, them being a 21st century companion isn't going to really hinder, for me, like, not relating to them or aren't relating to them. It's same as like an alien character or same as like a person from a different time. It's all about just them and how they're characterized, really.
I mean, this probably goes back to the sort of criticism we see a lot of the show. They're like, oh, we want it to be more alien. How much Classico has James seen? He's seen quite a lot. I know that for a fact. He's seen quite a bit of Classico.
I kind of do want to find out a little bit. I do want to know how it feels for the Doctor to not have one foot in the TARDIS and one foot out in our reality. I would like to know how it feels when the Doctor is travelling completely outside of Earth's jurisdiction and is kind of unwilling.
I mean, we do know this because of classic Doctor Who. We have seen this before, so it's not like it's completely unfamiliar.
Favored by our society, and where we're not always on the same page as him or her. You get what I mean? Like, the Doctor is always kind of needing to be in our vicinity. The Doctor these days is always needing to be on the same page as us, so that the Doctor is still aware of our society and things like TikTok, Tinder, all this.
Oh my god! Imagine.
Why would you?
Is Russell T gonna do that?
No. There's not gonna be an episode about fucking Tinder.
That's something that I feel like that Moffat would do. That's definitely, if Moffat was the showrunner right now, he'd be making jokes about TikTok and Tinder. Or even Grindr.
All this stuff that we know as regular place in our world, so that the Doctor can always be on the same page as us. I do get that, but at the same time, I am kind of curious as to what it would feel like if the Doctor wasn't like that. There have been classic stories in Doctor Who where the Doctor was travelling with people that weren't human. In fact, the Fifth Doctor had whole TARDIS teams of people where...
To be fair, Tegan is human and she's modern day. I'll just point that out.
Modern day, the time, yeah.
In the TARDIS felt like a family. It felt like an outer space
They
family,
showed their
like
bedrooms,
Jetsons
Connor.
or something like that, where these were a group of people that were just looking for excitement and adventure, and I do think that Doctor Who does need still that human element, like what Tegan had. She was from Earth, but I do think that it would be cool if the Doctor had added a little bit more of that into the show, a little bit more of that outer space element into the TARDIS with him as a companion. I feel like that would be a pretty interesting dynamic to still have. It's a huge universe out there, and you're telling me that the Doctor would only rather have companions from planet Earth? I know that Earth...
Well, he visits Earth a lot.
Yeah, he loves it. He's well established that he's very fond of Earth.
And before that happened, the Doctor actually picked up quite a few companions that weren't from modern day Earth. That's because they weren't that, connected to Earth yet. And then once they became that way in the 70s, a lot of the companions weren't. There were modern day Earth companions. Although, of course, again, the Fourth Doctor ran away from Earth, ended up with Leela and Romana and Adric and Nyssa. So that was still a factor. But, it's a part of the reason why the Doctor recently has picked up a lot of modern-day Earth companions in universe is because they visit Earth a lot and they visit our time a lot because they're interested in it.
Earth is, pretty much his favourite planet, but I think it wouldn't hurt to have him explore other places every once in a while. And I know that there's enough alien spaceships and monsters and other...
They do explore. It's not every story is not on fucking Earth. Like even Chibnall Who had they did explore. It was just fucking shit stories.
And out there stuff. I know that there's going to be enough of that going on when the show comes back with Ncuti Gatwa and Millie Gibson. I know that there is going to be enough outer space stuff for all of us. I know that. So what's the point in having it in the TARDIS as a companion? My thought is that it would make the Doctor's dynamic with whoever he's travelling with, in fact, how he sees the universe, all that more kind of interesting, all that more kind of interesting and entertaining to see on screen. I mean, I remember Leela. I mean, I don't remember Leela like the classic series fans remember Leela with the Fourth Doctor, but I do remember seeing stories with her with the Fourth Doctor, and she was this barbaric lady that everything was kind of new to her and scary and dangerous. So she always had to feel like she's got to quickly kill it, you know. And the Doctor kind of had to teach her a civilized way of seeing the universe. So that was really interesting to see the Doctor in that kind of mentor, kind of teacher mentality, where he was genuinely teaching some barbaric cave lady how to see the universe in a different light. So something like that was always really interesting to me with the show. So I would like to see something different that kind of...
To take like a minute to say all of that, he took a long time to say all of that. Just gonna point that out. That was quite long.
He's very expository.
Like, yeah, it's like, sure, that was a choice they made to have this character be characterized as barbaric, and it could be taught in a different way compared to other companions. Yes, that was something they did, and that was a choice and something different. Yeah. Okay.
The question of the video is, why is Doctor Who returning to basics?
Again, yeah, the title of the video is not really being discussed.
kind of challenges the way the Doctor has a dynamic with the entire universe. Now, at first, I did think to myself, oh, what if Millie is just the latest member of the TARDIS? What if the Doctor's going to pick up more people and the TARDIS team will grow as it goes on? Apparently not. According to CBR.com, Doctor Who's new companion confirms
here we go.
Russell T
Wrong with you.
Davies is going back to basics. Millie Gibson is joining the cast of Doctor Who as new companion Ruby Sunday, suggesting a return to
I
form.
will just say, this is someone on a website who's saying that that's what's happening because of what they've read.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Russell T Davies saying it's going back to basics.
This exactly, yeah. This is Russell hasn't said
Mr.
this.
Andrew Gladman from whatever website this is saying that that's what's happening.
For returning
Yeah, that's what they
showrunner
assumed.
Russell T Davies.
Which it might,
I
but
think that this
I don't think it's
article
the exact
is
same
basically
thing.
just speculating. I don't
Okay, there
think
you go.
anyone's confirmed that it's going back to the basics and that there will be no TARDIS team as it goes on, but I do think that this article has just speculations that there will be no TARDIS team going forward with Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor. When Russell T Davies first relaunched Doctor Who with the revival Season 1 in 2005, Billie Piper appeared as Rose Tyler, companion to Christopher Eccleston's 9th Doctor. Rose very much served as the audience's gateway into the fantastical time-travelling world of the Doctor. Season 1's first episode was even titled Rose, signalling that this was her story and would be told from her point of view. It gave audiences a stronger connection to the companion and more of an anchor in the series' fast-paced journeys.
I just want to point out something. The only era of this entire show that arguably doesn't add secondary companions on is the Colin Baker era, and even then, you've characters like Sablom Glitz and King Yukanos in The Trial of a Time Lord, which are pretty close and tight-knit to the Doctor and Perry and Mel. So that's literally the only example I can think of, whereas every other era of the show has characters around that are added in one way or another.
This video, like the last one, there's just a lot of padding in this.
Also,
Like, I don't know what
Russell T.
what point is he
Davies-
going to make from this.
Russell T Davies in his first era had secondary companions all the time in
Mhm.
every series.
Yes.
Like, literally, the mid to late 80s is the only time in the entire show that hasn't really been a factor. It's always been something that's happened in other parts of the show.
Between various worlds and times. Davies has mostly stuck to the single companion setup throughout his era, with Rose being...
That's not right. That's not true. We've had Adam Mitchell, we've had Captain Jack, we've had Mickey, we've had Jackie Tyler, we've had Wilfred, we've had all sorts of characters go in and out of the TARDIS during...
I really don't know what his point is going to be with pointing out this part of an article. I don't know what... I don't know. Like, proof that he's going to be going back to these sort of, like, one companion runs.
Also, this idea that those periods of time where the TARDIS got more crowded as being short-lived, which is at the end of this article, is not true. It happened very often. So I suppose maybe they're trying to say that it's not going to be like Chibnall Who, where there's always multiple companions. There's going to be a lot of episodes where there's only one. But also, I wouldn't call that back to basics. I just call that not Chibnall Who, right? Just weird.
Being succeeded first by Freema Edgmond's Martha Jones, then Catherine Tate's Donna Noble. There were brief periods in which the TARDIS got a little more crowded during Davies' tenure as showrunner, but these tended to be short-lived. So Davies doesn't really seem to be a fan of the whole TARDIS team setup. He prefers it to be the Doctor and one companion.
That's not really what... That's not the truth, though. That's not really what happens.
No. Again... Did you need to point out the article, really, if you wanted to make this point?
Yeah. Also, he hasn't cropped his video properly. There's black areas in the right and bottom side. He hasn't edited it properly.
Oh, yeah. On the bottom, yeah, you can tell, yeah.
And there's a thin line on the right side as well.
Yeah, slightly thin. Oh, there's a bit on the left, but yeah. Yeah.
No more than that. There was a short-lived companion team with the Doctor, Rose and Mickey, and the Doctor, Rose and Captain Jack. So there have been certain elements of other people kind of coming into the TARDIS, but it wasn't really to last very long, because it seems like the Russell...
I'm trying to figure out, is he trying to focus on the fact that she isn't alien, or is he focusing on the fact that there's only one companion?
I guess both.
Davies doesn't want to have to deal with more than two companions at a time, and so I can respect that the Doctor, that Russell doesn't want to have the TARDIS be.
I mean, we've literally just had an era with lots of companions in the TARDIS, so doing something different to that is fine. You're doing something that's a change. Why is this an issue?
The issue with that was that they had just didn't develop them properly. Never gave them the time or the actual content to develop them into actual people. I imagine if Russell was in that situation, they'd be much more developed and, acted like actual people. In these kind of situations, and
but if Moffat and Chibnall can handle it, I think Russell can.
That's assuming that they did handle it.
So why can't the TARDIS have a few more people on there? Hell, even if it's just...
Because maybe he wants to do something that's one-on-one. Maybe that's what he wants to do.
Maybe
Why is this a problem?
Maybe it's a choice he made.
Why is this a problem to have one companion? Is that inherently bad?
K9 coming back, or I would have loved it if Handels stayed for a bit after Time of the Doctor. I think that was a great dynamic that the 11th Doctor had with him. Even if it's just kind of like a funny little sidekick or something, that would at least add a certain new flavour and new dynamic into the TARDIS and on other travels. I think just adding something new and different would, even if it's just as much as like a freaking Cyberman head, I think that would...
So what? This is weird that this is what he wants.
Yes.
Does it really add that much to the show?
In terms of literal quantity of characters, like objectively, there is more.
Okay.
Like, if Russell wanted to do that, I think he absolutely could, because he's written shows with multiple characters before. It's just, I think it's a choice he wants to make.
What I'm trying to understand from him here is that why is it bad to not do that?
I was like, why does it need to be pointed out? I guess is like, I don't think he's even saying like is there any bad, but he's just pointing out as like, why is this what Russell wants to do? What's the why? Well, I'm like, it's just the choice he made. It's the direction he wants to go in, and that's about as much as you can probably say on it right now.
James is pitching. James is pitching the thing of, oh, I just want more stuff.
Yeah, why? Yeah, but that's just not the choice.
Has he ever heard of the idea? Has he ever heard of the idea of minimalism and focus?
I guess that's what if that's what if he wants to
Oh no, your voice is fucked up again. Your voice is fucked up again.
Wait.
Oh, that's good.
Hello.
Now. It's good now.
I just have to keep. Don't know why that keeps happening.
That's quite funny.
Yeah, but as I was saying, it's it's a creative choice, and that's where we're going down, and that's kind of all you can really say about it.
Would be, kind of interesting and new and different, because even though I have had 5 years of the TARDIS team being a thing, and so the one singular companion is something that I haven't seen since Clara Oswald, at least. At the same time, I'm still kind of thinking, oh god, that again? I've seen that before. Give me.
Oh god.
But you've been saying this whole video like about there in Classicu being multiple companions, so that would be the same thing. It would be, we're doing that again. I've seen that before.
He's forgetting. Also
I don't know if you understand.
He's forgetting also that these characters are not the same as those characters.
No,
they're
and again,
people.
also like this is such a small thing. There being the amount of companions, it's like it doesn't mean every time Russell did a companion, their stories were different. You're looking at it as like there is literally one companion. We're doing the same thing over and over again. It's like, but the story context is different. The arcs are different. They're not the same arcs. There are similarities because that's the style in Russell writes, but Martha's story is very different to Donna's story in terms of their values and who they are as people.
Nah, shut up. They're one person and they're from modern day Earth and they're female. It's the same thing.
There's a very, very, very.
Also, I just want to point out something. Ruby Sunday, whilst being from modern day Earth, is from 2 decades after Russell's first companions. So the context of her being contemporary for her time is going to be different to what it was back then. This is nearly 20 years after Rose Tyler was a companion.
Mm-hmm.
So being modern now is different to being modern then. Imagine if he does a historical in 2005. That'd be so funny.
That would be.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty funny.
So, I would love it if Russell T Davies gave me something different with this companion. But again, I'm not going to criticise her.
You've literally been criticising the decision that Russell made because you just want something different. Even though if he gave you what you're asking for, it'd be something that's been done before. You're not asking for something different. You're asking for something old. Really.
It's all he's saying is, I want more people in the TARDIS. That's all he's saying.
Yeah, that's all he's saying. He wants more. That's all he's asking for.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Years and Years and It's a Sin or both don't have a main character. They're a big cast of characters.
There's just a lot of main characters. There's like 5 main characters.
Yeah. I guess you could say for It's a Sin, it's Reggie Tozer. But I don't even know for Years and Years. What would you say for that? Who's the main character of Years and Years? It's like, there isn't one.
Not really. I guess, what was his name? Dan? Was his
Daniel
name?
Barton.
Oh,
Yeah, but Daniel Barton's not even in the whole story, though.
Did you say Daniel Barton?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, no. Fucking Daniel Barton is bloody from Spyfall.
Yeah,
Bloody
that's what
Daniel,
I thought. You
Daniel Lyons is the character's
There you
name. Daniel Lyons. Not Daniel
I'd
Barton.
argue there's like, I would say like him and the dad. No, not the dad. Sorry, the other brother to him is the main characters, and then
Well, Stephen Lyons is definitely one of the mains, yeah.
yeah, him, Danny. Who would be the other? Because obviously they're all like a lot of them are main characters, but in terms of screen time and like importance, well, not importance. Not the right
Maybe
word.
the sisters.
Sisters, sure. I would say out of all of them, I can't remember the name of the one obviously in the wheelchair. I can't remember her name or the actress.
Yeah, Ruth Medley's character, whatever her name is.
Yeah, like in terms of she's still a main character, but in terms of like significant compared to the other siblings, she's got very much a slightly minor role.
Yeah, but bloody Joan Redfern, whatever her name is in the story, she's pretty major, because especially in the second half.
Yeah, second half especially. Yeah.
Victor becomes a
But yeah,
POV character in the second half as well.
Yeah. So, like, Russell can write multiple characters, multiple main characters, but with Doctor Who, he's happy with the idea of going with one companion for now. And that's not a bad thing at all. From Modern Earth 2, I don't
We also don't even know if he's going to add more or not.
Yeah, as of now, we don't know.
I am going to give this actress a shot, and I am looking forward to seeing what she can bring to the role of the companion. I just hope that it's not returning to too much of the basics. So, before I wrap up this video, I would like to know what you guys think. Are you?
This video was shit.
I think that Doctor Who has proven that you can do many different arrangements of TARDIS teams well, and you can also do them badly. It all depends on the writer and the context and what they do with it and how much time they spend developing the characters. It's got nothing to do with how many there are.
It's almost as if a lot of the fandom looks at things pretty shallow, like, and sort of like, they're from Modern Earth, therefore it is the same. I'm sick of Modern Earth. I'm sick of one companion. I'm sick of female companion blondes. It's all very arbitrary.
In the end, this stuff doesn't really matter.
No,
because at the end of the day, it's all fiction, so none of it is the same as real life.
I mean, yeah, exactly. People have preferences, but at the end of the day, it's all about the story.
Yeah. And also, sometimes modern day Earth companions are actually better written than the ones that aren't.
Yeah. Mainly because the writers behind them.
Yeah, newsflash, Donna Noble is better than Chameleon. Newsflash.
What? That is crazy talk.
Despite the fact that Chameleon's probably the most alien companion we've ever had.
Literally a robot.
I mean, I guess you could also say someone like Frobisher, but he's actually really good, though, especially in the Shearman stories. But, Keres is very alien, Chameleon's very
honestly,
alien, K9's
it's
very
almost
alien.
If I don't give a shit if the companion is like from 2005, 2022, or 1962, whatever. I don't care. As long as they're a well-characterized character, I don't care.
Yeah. I would welcome the idea of Russell doing a companion from a different time or a different planet. That'd be fine.
It's almost as if the most important thing is how good the writing is. I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
keep in mind, these are stories, and the most important thing about a story is the storytelling.
Yeah, and how many companions there are, and what the where they're from, and who they are, and what they're what planet they're from, and what time they're from is completely arbitrary. It's just a flavor that exists.
Well, it will infer. It will not infer. It will there can be reasons for why they lead to their certain characterization, like what a life they've led, or to that point, or what their surroundings are, stuff like that. But it'll be all down to what Russell does with the characterization of Ruby.
Yeah,
I don't. It won't be the same as Rose.
My take
there'll
on
be
this is
similarities
that
in terms of
my take on this is that I
with
don't
Russell.
see why this is bad. I don't see why having Ruby Sunday be modern day Earth person is a bad thing.
It's from what I always gather from the fandom. It's literally just because of preferences. They don't want to keep having the same.
Oh yeah, this is a good point.
Companion from Modern
by the
Time.
way, the 15th Doctor is a flamboyant black man. Not exactly quite the basics, is it?
No, in terms of meta, it's very not going back to betas in the meta. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, then game again makes a great point because Ian and Barbara were modern day companions. Obviously because they were from the time. The show has always had modern day companions, but we're just looking at it at a very because the show's been established for so long. So anybody from our time is oh, there's always modern companions. The show's always had modern companions. Tegan was a modern companion. Ace was a modern companion.
Oh damn! Chris Bouch has passed away.
I think I saw that.
What a shame.
A little bit ago.
For anyone who isn't aware of that, he wrote The Face of Evil, The Robot's Death, and Image of the Fandal. Very lovely Tom Baker stories.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of relevant to this video, actually, because he created the Leela character. Or at least he brought her to life. I believe it was a Philip Hinchcliffe and Robert Holmes idea. Anyway,
we're so close to the end.
Doctor Who is going back to the same old with the TARDIS dynamic with the Doctor and one other companion.
Oh my god, what? It's almost as if, did he never expect there to be one companion ever again?
He's after Christian innovated the show and we're never going to go back to basics again. It's going to be new and fresh and crazy.
These are the most... oh my god, we're going back to basics, a brand new screwdriver for a new Doctor. Oh my god, we're going back to basics. We're going to just a new TARDIS for a new Doctor. You could basically just say that, and it's almost the same thing. It just being one companion is not it's a very strange thing to say. Oh, we're going back to basics. It's we've had plenty of Doctors who had one companion. The 7th Doctor did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you happy that it's going back to that way, or would you prefer it if they had done something?
I don't think it matters.
What is new? What would be new? There being 3 companions because that was the last era. There being 2 companions because that was the last season. It's very is it literally just Russell did one companions?
I just want to point something out as well. Yeah. In terms of fan consensus, a lot of people have been complaining about there being too many companions, and maybe it's a good idea to shave that off and focus on one. Yeah, that's actually something that people have been asking for.
But the real issue behind that is because the writer did a bad job. If it again, like I said, if it was Russell doing Yaz, Ryan, and Graham and Dan, they'd be a lot better characterized.
Yeah.
I know that for sure because Russell has wrote shows with multiple characters before.
Also,
He just has a preference when it comes to writing Doctor Who. Clearly.
Also, in terms of Ncuti Gatwa as an actor, we know he has talent at having a dynamic with one other character. He's succeeded at that before, so we know he's capable of that.
Absolutely, and he was important again. Ncuti Gatwa was involved in the casting as well, by the way.
Yep.
So
he said,
so
"Russell,
that's
that
pretty
is
important
the
too.
companion."
That is the companion. So already they've there's clear he has really likes what Millie Gibson brings to what is going to potentially be quite a interesting character, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Tom Baker and Sarah Jane were together by themselves from Planet of Evil to The Hand of Fear, and that's one of the most popular pairings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the show's always had modern companions. So this is, I feel like a lot of people, it's like, why does the show have to not have? Why can't and also literally in Moffat's era, we had a lot of alien companions. Like Nardole was there for quite a while with Capaldi, in universe and for entire season.
You know what's so funny is that imagine if people back in 1970 was saying, "Oh, they're going back to basics, having the Doctor on Earth without the TARDIS." It's just no, because that's never been done before. At that time, it had never been happened before. It was a new idea.
Again, the main thing with these last few videos is they're just very nothing videos saying the most basic thing without really real argumentation.
Yeah, I mean, no offense to the guy, but we're talking about he was a pioneer of one of the most popular Doctor Who YouTube channels of all time to exist, and his videos are often vacuous, and that's upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of feels a bit insulting to have these level of arguments representing this fandom when this channel has been one of the most popular in the fandom.
Because with other channels we've covered, at the very least, there have been actual arguments to dissect. Like Harby, I think, with the videos of him we've covered, they've been he's actually made points. They've not been good most of the time. But we've had to actually tackle them. This is just this is very basic. This is very, very, very basic.
To be fair,
I don't feel like we're putting too hard here.
To be fair, Matt Rowney, his content's definitely better than James's. His arguments are definitely more substantive, but he does have some issues as well. But by comparison, I think Matt Rowney's definitely does better content in terms of argumentation than James does.
Mm-hmm.
New and different with it, because so much of the old is coming back. Russell is coming back. David is coming back. They've even got a 70s logo coming back as
a fucking logo. Why? Imagine caring about that to that level of being worried about returning to basics.
Our new logo of Doctor Who. And so I would like something a bit new to come to the TARDIS, and instead
name what you want new,
sort of rehashing the same old stuff. I mean, I thought that David and Catherine Tate coming back, and Bernard Cribbins coming back, and all of that old TARDIS team coming back, I thought that was enough. I thought that was our nostalgia. But seeing that Ncuti Gatwa is...
How is this nostalgia? How is this nostalgia? How the fuck is this nostalgia? What part of this is nostalgia in any way?
The only thing that could possibly be nostalgia is that it's Russell C Davies writing it. That's the only possibility I could say.
And that's really strange. That's not a good... That makes no sense to say. Nothing about this is going to be nostalgia, because it's not... But just...
Going back to the usual one, pretty female companion.
Oh my god!
To me,
oh my god!
Nostalgic, apparently.
Oh my god! I don't want pretty females. I want ugly men. That's going to be new.
That would be new. That would be new.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Seems a little bit like, oh, it's the same old, same old. So I'd like to know what you
Yes, let's not. We're not allowed to have pretty females in Doctor Who. That's played out. That's tried and tested.
No.
That's not allowed. We've already done that. It's nostalgia to it's nostalgia to have. Oh my god! Just as we say that, some bots like hot girls' hair.
No.
That's so funny how he mentioned pretty girls, and then that bot has just chimed in and be like, right, this is the time when we drop this. Girls 8. Oh god, it's called Girls 18 too, and the actress is 18. This is getting spooky. This is getting really spooky.
Oh my god.
How do you ban that thing?
I've hidden it.
Okay.
And I'll just time that.
Yeah, this is a good point, RG. He's just describing Doctor Who. You know, James, just an idea. Maybe you want to watch a different show. You want something else? Just an idea. Is James Wilson asking Russell T Davies to completely reinvent the wheel? Is that what he's doing? Timed out for 300 seconds. How many seconds?
Yes.
In eternity. Yeah.
You guys think? Are you glad about this, or are you on my side here and would like a bit of something new? I respect all opinions and no hate whatsoever. If you guys are glad that something old and familiar is coming back, then
This isn't old. It's a new casting. It's going to be different characters. It's not going to be the exact same fucking thing. How's this nostalgia?
enough. That's totally fine by me. So I'll see you guys next time.
Well, that... Okay. We just watched half an hour of his content. We just watched half an hour of his content.
Yeah, we did. It was kind of worthless, not gonna lie.
Yep. Oh dear.
Dear. Oh dear. Yeah, that was kind of pointless. Those weren't very argumentative videos.
He's worrying about things that don't exist. Well, I honestly don't have much more to say. I'm kind of speechless.
Yeah.
Leave your questions in the chat, because that's gonna cause conversation to happen. Yeah. It's pretty disappointing to have him, after all these years, come back to the channel and he's just projecting the same old shit, you know? Non-existent, vacuous arguments. He could surely do better than that.
Absolutely.
We've got 15 current viewers. This is more than usual. I think we're doing pretty well.
It is.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's because I put Who Addicts in the thumbnail.
Possibly.
Yeah. Uh, Who had next to the Chris Stuckman of Doctor Who discussions. I mean, I don't know if they're that bad.
Oh, that was pretty Chris Stuckman-y.
I mean, yeah, maybe James Wilson is Chris Stockman, but I wouldn't say Matthew Rowney is as bad as Chris Stockman. Matthew Rowney's better than that. Jesus. Chris Stockman's trash. Oh, would we say it's as bad as like Watch Mojo and What Culture? I mean, I think
No,
I don't think
wouldn't say that.
James Wilson isn't as insufferable as Ellie Littlechild is.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's different.
Oh no, Orgy is defending Chris Stockman in the chat. What do we think of this, Callum?
I mean, he's shit. He's not a good reviewer. He's the most basic reviewer you could find. I mean, it's fun though to speak for themselves, really.
Yeah, it's just sort of in one ear and out the other.
Pretty much. It's a different kind of like padding.
I wonder why he enjoys the Chibnall era. Well, there you go. I mean, there's a whole podcast of them talking about the Chibnall era and him praising it, but it's so long that it would be impossible to cover because it's like hours long.
Oh God, no.
I mean, he's better than Jeremy Johns. Saying that he's better than Jeremy Johns doesn't make him good. Yet you're not making an argument for Chris Stockman. You're just making a comparison to someone else.
It's not really. Again, it's a different kind of boring.
Oh, you know, I'm not
videos.
saying that Matt Rowney is some master of criticism, Gentile Prime. He is also vacuous to an extent, but he's better than James Wilson. That's my point. He is a tier or two higher than this level, because there is some substance to what he's saying, whereas with James Wilson, there really isn't.
Yeah.
Your voice has got funny again.
Yeah, I'm holding my cat, so I can't do anything.
Well, I'm holding my cat, so I can't do anything. That's what you sound like.
Why is this happening?
That's good now. I'm hoping at some point it goes the other way and it goes all high pitched. That'll be funny. I'm glad that none of this happened when we were recording stuff earlier in the month. What is there to praise about Chibnall Era for hours and hours? But it'll be something like, you know, I was so excited because he gave us lots of surprises and pulled the rug from under us, and we never saw it coming because he kept the spoilers away. And I watched the episodes. I watched the episodes not knowing what was going to happen, and it was so crazy and exciting and unpredictable.
So like Hellbent.
To be fair, Moffat did spoil Hellbent a little bit.
He did.
He's like, yes, the doctor is back on home, and he's going to have to face his people once again in a big epic finale.
Yeah. That was that, I guess. What a strange stream.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'd imagine we'll probably have to re-upload that. I
Possibly.
thankfully have the recording, so
It's quite a bit we'll have to
On my
re-upload.
yeah. I've got my end of when I stream, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well, then I think we should just end it here because I've got a lot of
Yeah.
editing to do.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, right. Bye.
Very strange scene. Oh, well, bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
It's a shame I had to end it with so many viewers, but you know, we just